when Brian and I were in the booth last week, I was getting that mentality. It just was like, okay, you can see it. You can see it within this team that they don't want to give up. And there was guys that were flying all over the field. I feel like Mason Kugler was in on every tackle defensively, or was around the ball, and you could definitely feel that bend don't break. A little bit different here tonight with the with Mount Lebanon. We'll talk about Mount Lebanon, and but tonight is senior night, and you guys have a big group, a pretty important group of seniors. So I what I always like to do on senior night is to just get your thoughts and your on thoughts and opinions and any comments you have for this.
I kind of laugh. I said, they don't see, me being too emotional at times when it comes to stuff. But when you talk about this senior group, I couldn't be more proud of them. And I'm so excited to be their coach, and it being at the end of the year and getting into, are we in the playoffs, are we not? This last game it's became emotional for us because we've been with these young men for now 3 years. We treat them like family, and to see only a couple games left, hopefully, it's tough. And one thing is these guys, they could have wrote us off from the get-go. We didn't have the best results the first 2 years. They could have easily said, I'm going to go play another sport, which a lot of them excel at. But they stayed with us. They trusted us. They kept with the process. And I can't be more, grateful for them, because nothing like this happens at a place like this without those guys. And the way they've worked and the way they led, not only being seniors, but some of them being juniors last year, it's outstanding. And, I'm really proud to be their coach. It's going to be an emotional night, but, I think the guys, they know that we still got a job to do, but again, I couldn't be more proud of the group that we have.
Now, I know in previous years when I used to talk to Coach Brzezinski about this kind of stuff, he always said, this is going to be the last time these seniors, so a lot of these seniors may ever play the game of football again. A lot of these guys may not go play collegiately, but tonight isn't just the last time the seniors will play on this field. It's also the last time the juniors will play on this field as well, as this stadium's going to go under construction after this season. And I just want to get your thoughts, because, you've been around the stadium for a little bit, and just want your thoughts and the uniqueness. I guess we can continue that from last week of this being the last game here at Norwin Knight Stadium.
Yeah. I really didn't realize it until one of the juniors, they sent something out on our platform, and he even said, it's senior night, but for us juniors, it's going to be the last time too that we play on this field. So I was asked earlier, what was your best memories, being on the field? And yeah, the games, they're awesome, but it was the summers, the springs, when nobody was there and it was just us, and we're battling, whether it's the heat or we're trying to get this offense back in, or defense, and it's in the middle of June, and there's a couple people walking the track, and that's all that's at Norwin campus. So it's a sacred place for us, and we've talked about that the past 3 years. This is our home, and it's going to again be very unique, to have. It's the first time in my coaching career that, you're playing at a place that's going to be the last time you play at the stadium. So we've talked about it a little bit during the week, but I think the kids realize, what's at stake. They've realized, all the good times and all the bad times that we had there. And hopefully, at the end of the day, we can celebrate that.
Well, to start the celebration, would have to start with the win against Mount Lebanon here tonight, and it's a conference championship. They may not have the best record, but Mount Lebanon historically is a pretty good football program, and they're led by a quarterback who's a dual threat quarterback, having over 2,000 yards in total offense this season. So just your thoughts on the Blue Devils here tonight to wrap up the regular season.
Yeah, I honestly, they're the best 2-7 team I've seen since I've coached. They've had a heck of a schedule. They've had a heck of a season, in pretty much every single game battling. And you can't not talk about 14 when you talk about this team. The way he runs the ball on offense and throws it, and then what he does on defense is outstanding. But, he has a great support, I guess, staff that you want to call it, with running backs, line, defensive line, D-backs. They're a very talented football team. And I think people outside of, the WPIAL or don't really get to see Mount Lebo too often, they might say, oh, they're 2-7, but they're a really good football team. And I think they're a playoff football team. So we're going to have our hands full with them, but, we got to match their physicality. And again, we have to match, and 14 gets the ball, that's going to be our focus, is being able to tackle them, because not a lot of teams have this season. So I think if we limit our mistakes, pre-snap penalties, turnovers, things like that, we should have success. But again, in no means is this going to be a cakewalk for us.
And not saying that it would be easy to prepare for this game, but they're a team that, if I had to pick a team that I've seen recently or have done my homework on, are the most mirrored image of you guys without the success this season. So does that make things a little bit easier to prepare for this week?
I do. I think too, like you said, having a program that's historically good, everybody, if you're going to talk about, those top tier teams and programs, Mount Lebanon is definitely in the conversation. So, when they're having so-called bad seasons, they're still pretty good football teams. It's for their, the standard that they've created and the culture that they've created there. So, the kids, I think they understand it, whether they're 7-2, 2-7, they're still a Mount Lebo team. They're still, like I said, a physical and talented football team. And again, we're going into it like it's any other conference game. And, that's what I think is pretty cool about this 6A team or the 6A conference this year, is there's nobody in, 6A that you can sit there and be like, all right, we got a really good chance at this. It's, bloodbath. And I think if you do, 4 or 5 times playing it over, there might be 4 or 5 different teams getting in. So, we understand it. We respect the heck out of Mount Lebo, and, we're excited to play them.
Last week felt like a playoff game, especially with the last-second field goal with Tristan there. And then tonight I would assume, feel like a playoff game. So you guys are going to be going potentially 3 straight weeks of playoffs if everything goes right. Let me bounce back here quickly and talk about Tristan. I meant to ask him about that earlier, but Tristan Josephic, guy came out of pretty much nowhere and has been extremely consistent for you guys. And I think, and I used to talk again with Coach Brzezinski about this a lot, because it's not something you hear every day with a high school football team having a consistent kicker. And you guys have had it now for the last, we'll say, 6 years. So even before you were here at Norwin. So I just want you to talk about your 2 special teamers there, and Tristan and Evan.
Yeah. Like you said, if you look at it the past decade, specials have been great here. And Tristan, he came on with us late. He was a soccer player, and he actually decided to strictly focus on football, which you don't see too often. Practices with Evan every single day. They actually go off on their own sometimes, which kind of scares me, but you'll see balls flying when we're in team defense or offense. But again, sometimes you don't see that too often in high school, where not only do you have specials, but they're practicing, full hour and a half. So they take pride in it, and we take pride in our special teams. I think we found out, that NA game, that was a game changer. They beat us on special teams. So we really locked in on that. We have super confidence in Evan being able to punt it, especially, all the times he's put teams, inside the 10, inside the 15. And then with Tristan, anything inside 30, we have full trust in, and probably outside a little bit too. So it is nice to have 2 guys that not only excel, but we have confidence in, and they know that we have confidence in them.
It has to be a comfortable feel knowing that if anything, I mean, knock on wood, anything were to happen to Tristan, that you still have Evan, who has kicked in the past,
Right.
as a bit of a safety blanket. But Coach, we don't know what's going to happen tonight, obviously. And if things don't work out, I just want to take a moment to thank you for joining me here every week, and Sean a couple times. And it's been a pleasure watching you guys this year, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a roller coaster for us up in the booth as well. I'm sure it's been a roller coaster for you guys. But, Coach, I really just want to thank you for all the time that you've taken to talk to us throughout the season, and wish you nothing but the best here against the Blue Devils, and hopefully moving forward too. But when we come back, Brian and I will get you ready for kickoff here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Hello, I'm Dr. Joseph Altier, here with Altier Chiropractic in Jeanette, Pennsylvania. As a sports chiropractor, I'm here to help the student-athlete perform their best, whether it's improving spinal function, reducing pain, or boosting recovery after an injury. My goal is to keep you strong, competitive, on and off the field. Don't let discomfort and injuries hold you back. Let's work together to maximize your potential. Call my office today at 724-52-SPINE or visit my website, altierchiropractic.com. You only get one body. Let's maximize your potential.
Cheer on your favorite school in style this season with shirts, hoodies, caps, and a whole lot more from Logo It by L&J Spiritwear. Stop into Logo It's fully stocked store on Walnut Street in Harrison City, where you can browse the latest fits featuring Penn Trafford, Norwin, Hempfield, and Jeanette High Schools. Logo It also designs custom uniforms and apparel. Open Tuesday through Saturday or online anytime at lnjspiritwear.com.
When the cold sets in, make sure your home is ready. Level Green Plumbing and Heating has been keeping families comfortable in Penn Township and beyond for more than 30 years. From installing new heating systems to fast, reliable repairs to preventative maintenance that saves you headaches down the road, their expert technicians do it all. Call 412-372-5544 or visit lgph.com today. Stay warm, stay safe with Level Green Plumbing and Heating.
We welcome you back into tonight's pregame show. Here, the C. Harper Auto pregame show, the best price every time, all the time here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Dave Franzak alongside Brian Brzezinski bringing you tonight's action here from the Knights Castle. The last time a football game will be played and on this current field, as it will go under renovations after this season. Taking a look again at the standings, I was just looking at the points for and points against here, Brian, for these two teams. Norwin coming in, as we said, 6-3 on the season. One of the better seasons they've had in quite some time, if I can remember back. And I'm not even sure if the Jack Salopek era had a winning record like that. I think his senior year, they snuck in with a 500 record into the playoffs. But anyways, Norwin scoring 265 points this year, only allowing 173, where Mount Lebanon has only scored 140 points this year, giving up 247 points this year. So, when I talked to Mike and we heard Mike's interview there just a couple of moments ago. This Mount Lebanon team, they're coming in 2-7, but they're not a team to sleep on by any means at all. They've taken a lot of the big-time teams into close games and just haven't been able to come away with it. 28-6 over Hempfield last week. Hempfield took Norwin up to the final possession of the game. Only losing to, now I get it, North Allegheny is having a down year, but 28-19 to them. They kind of had a similar result to Seneca Valley, a 41-20 win against Seneca Valley. Now, the big difference in my eyes, looking at their common opponents, they were blown out by Cannon McMillan, and Cannon McMillan played a tough game last week against Norwin here at the Knights Castle, and a Tristan Josephic field goal put that game away in the closing seconds of that game. So this is going to be almost a mirrored image of a Norwin Knight team, as much as you can think of one, as the Knights take the field here on senior night. And it's a playoff game for both of these teams. And I know Norwin's got the upper hand, and it's hard for them I would have to think it's hard for them to not overlook this game by a little bit and look into next week. Because if they do that and they stumble tonight, they could be going home tonight and not playing next week.
Yeah, and anytime you get into a last game of the year, senior night, and you just have a lot of emotion. And sports in general is about emotion. But what you learn as an athlete is how to channel that emotion. And so that's what's going to be key. You're going to have that typical first quarter, man. There's going to be ebbs and flows of this game. Plays are going to be made and plays are not going to be made. But what you have to do is you have to settle into the game and let the game speak for itself. Is the first team that can actually get into their comfort zone and just be like, man, we've been here before. We understand what's at stake. But don't make it bigger than it has to be and just play your game. And that comes to your leadership, whether that's coaching leadership or that's player leadership. Everyone has to just be able to ride good emotion, but also to the same respect. Don't let negative emotion put you in those dwells where you're like, man, we got to do more. When you start pressing is when you're going to start making mistakes. Just stay within yourself, both sides, and I think we're going to see another good quality game. And Dave, honestly, who has controlled the weather for this year?
Yeah,
because this is the ultimate year of just high school football on Fridays. It's just nice that we have a little crisp in the air and it's going to be a little bit chilly. The ball is going to be a little bit different today. Watch that. That's going to be a factor. I'll mention that because I'm going to tell you that ball gets a little slick when that temperature starts getting sub 50. All of a sudden, you just got to make sure your hand's a little bit tighter on the ball and on the catch. But when it comes down to it, man, just play football. Just be you and do what you got to do.
The Blue Devils will receive tonight's opening kickoff, and tonight's opening kickoff is presented by AHN Neighborhood Hospital. AHN Neighborhood Hospital is always open, offering care you need right around the corner. Visit ahnNeighborhood.org. Norwin in their home navy blue jerseys with white pants, gold and blue trim to either side of their pants. White lettering, white helmet with the Norwin Knight logo to either side of it, where the Blue Devils are in their visiting white uniforms. Navy pants with gold trim. They've got navy letterings with a navy helmet and a gold horn to either side. As I said, the Blue Devils will receive tonight's opening kickoff, and the Knights will kick off from right to left across your computer screen, smartphone, tablet, smart TV, whichever you're listening to. We thank you for joining us here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Brian said it's a crisp night here. It's currently 46 out here in North Huntington. And it proves to be a good game here tonight between these two teams. Again, Norwin needs the win to lock themselves in to the number 3 spot. If they were to lose, they need Cannon McMillan to also lose tonight. As it's Evan Pfeiffer to get things kicked off here, and he will give it a nice boot, and it'll be taken at about the 3-yard line. 15 gets to the 20, and before he can get to the 25-yard line goes Jacob Zaber, and we'll see Pat Smith. As we said, it already has over 2,000 total offensive yards this year. He's got 1,000 through, at least 1,000 through the air, 1,034 through the air, and he's got 1,170 on the ground. He's got 13 total tackles and also 2 point-after attempts converted.
Yeah, so what you're going to see is both teams are going to go right now and just be able to put out their best element that they have. Everyone's going to game plan, and right now, if you're Lebo, anything in the bag that you had is going to be unreal today.
Rolling out to his left is Smith to get things started. Fires on a crossing pattern, and it's too far for his intended receiver. And it looked like that was Kevin King on the crossing pattern. Incomplete, will go second down.
Yeah, and a nice play concept right there, right? They run the outside receiver deep and just go with a nice little timing lane with the second receiver inside, has leverage. Just rolling out to your left, wasn't able to go ahead and put that a little bit more inside for his receiver to make a catch, but I like the play call and a good job being aggressive on first down.
Second down and 10. Looking to throw again. Wants the deep ball. Good coverage by Pauling. Pressure's on, and just throwing it away this time is Smith, and he'll bring up tonight's first third down.
Yeah, and Smith right there wanted to go timing again. They were going to go with the inside number 2 on a little bit of an out pattern, but give Carson Miller a lot of credit right there. He dropped down, was right in the hip, and so when that was taken away, they had to go almost in like a pseudo scramble mode, trying to see if there was any secondary action that was breaking loose, but Norwin was plastered to the receivers and able to keep that at no gain.
Third down and 10 for the Knights. 11:40 remaining in this first quarter. Smith looking to throw again. Fires, and it's over his intended receiver. That was Joe Malone on the drag route over his head. Will fall incomplete. the Blue Devils go 3 and out to start tonight's action.
Yeah, and so what you see right there is early on, Norwin's going to go ahead and make a cognizant effort to make sure that there's no receivers flying free for any inside easy timing lane. They end up having second receivers, especially after that first play, caught in the fact that they're in hip coverage, which basically means you're going to make the quarterback make a good throw or make a decision that he has to put it in a tight pocket.
Malone is the punter and will punt it off to Jake Knight. Did it hit Markle's foot? It did hit Markle's foot.
Yeah, it was one of those like in-between type of punts that was not real high and not real low. And so we're calling for like one of those AKA Peter calls that it's going to be a short kick. Markle's just engaged with his outside receiver or outside leverage person that's trying to go ahead and get to the ball. And once he hears the call, he's trying to get away from it. Just happens to nick his foot. Honestly, didn't even realize that like it actually took place. But give Lebo a lot of credit. They're on the spot right there and actually get a chance to go ahead in a second set of downs here now on the positive side.
It'll be the second possession for the Blue Devils here tonight, as it's going to be Smith to run it himself this time. Goes up the middle, and it's going to take a host of Knights to tackle him. It's Mason Kugler as well as Santino Brasco, the ones that will wrap him up, but not after a gain of 6.
Yeah, good gain there. They come out with a little 3-by-1 sets. They have a little nasty bunch formation out to the right side of the offense, and they're trying to separate some of the linebackers or just get the defense to spread out, and they're just using the legs of their quarterback to go ahead and get a significant gain there, put them at a good spot ahead of the sticks.
Just under 11 minutes to play here in the first quarter on 2nd down and 4. It's going to be a loss of 1 as Smith calls his number again. It'll be brought down for a loss of 1. Break it 3rd down and 5. No score here in the first quarter. 10:40 and rolling between Norwin and Mount Lebanon.
Yeah, difference that time is they didn't have much of a spread formation, so it allowed Norwin to go ahead and have more bodies inside, and they were able to bottle up and keep them at a no gain or actually a loss of 1, put them at 3rd and 5.
The Blue Devils are 0 for 1 tonight on 3rd down. Smith goes shotgun. Rolling here to the near side. Looks to go deep downfield. Has a man, and it's out of his hands. It is Maxton Siegel, the intended receiver. Jump ball between him and Pauling. A little grabbing both ways, and it falls incomplete. Now we'll see what the Blue Devil, it looks like their offense is going to stay out on the field on 4th down and 5.
Yeah, go with the design rollout right there that they're going to go ahead and take their outside receiver, send them deep, and they actually had the inside receiver going to the sticks. They try to take a shot on Pauling, but Pauling does a nice job of staying engaged the entire time on his person and was able to make sure that that was incomplete.
Pat Smith will actually punt this ball away, and a little pooch punt will roll to the 15-yard line and will be downed at the 14-yard line as we will change possessions here. And now we'll get to see the Knights as they've held the Blue Devils to 2 consecutive 3-and-outs, only allowing 5 yards here on the night.
Yeah, nice little execution there, though, is going with a little bit of tempo there on the 4th down, catching, everyone making sure they're scrambling around. They actually executed a nice little pooch punt there, and what's nice about it for the Lebo side is it puts them inside the 20 on the 15, making them earn any type of real estate that they want to go ahead and try to score on.
Man in motion. It's Brzezinski in motion on 1st down. Looking to throw is Tavares. He wants it all tonight. If he has Knight, it's just outside of the reach of Jake Knight. That would have been going all the way had Knight been able to catch up to it. Falls incomplete. We'll stop the clock at 9:52 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, nice play call there because what Norwin did in the first game last week is they brought Brzezinski in motion and they went with a shot to Brzezinski, but this time they go in motion and they throw a shot to Knight. Knight has his step just a little bit too deep.
Quick pass goes outside to Brzezinski. He is able to catch the ball and will try to fight his way forward. He's going to get at least 4, maybe 5 out of that reception. Will bring up a 3rd down.
Yeah, and again, one of the things that, you want to see is, hey, are you going to go ahead and take what the defense is giving you right there? They're giving you 5, so it puts them at 3rd and 5 right here.
Handoff up the middle goes to Rothroff. He's got open field. 50, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Can't get there. He's going to go down at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, and right there, just good complementary football, right? So you go deep shot, you go wide, you make them think pass, and all of a sudden you got G going up the gut. And Tristan does a nice job of realizing that, hey, they're going to go ahead and cover the perimeter. He shoots them right up inside and give the line a lot of credit, man. They created a hole. G being able to take it down to the 3-yard line.
Rotroff, though, this time is going to be bottled up and will lose 2 yards on it.
Yeah, so just like we were giving credit to for Norwin on the tempo, give Lebo a lot of credit right there, right? You just gave up a big play. Ball's going to be inside your 5, and they understand the situation. Right there is when Norwin likes to do a lot of the run type of stuff, and they're up to the task, making sure the run's not going to beat them.
73 yards was that run. Tavares calls his number himself, tries to get to the outside, dives forward. Are they going to call him in? Down at the 1-yard line as the Knights are going to try to score here again from the Norwin Teachers Federal Credit Union Red Zone, providing family-like services since 1952. Tavares is able to get 2 yards on that carry, and will put them right at the 1-yard line for 3rd down and goal from the 1. 8:17 and rolling here in the first quarter, no score.
Yeah, and Tristan right there just gets tripped up a little bit. Did a nice job of not trying to overextend, but now he's going to go ahead and take the ball.
And he muscles his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Norwin.
Yeah, and that's a good team touchdown right there. And what I mean by a team touchdown right there is you just gave the opportunity to go ahead and say, hey, we have the chance to spread you out or punch you inside. And they did everything they could, and Tristan does a nice job of just being able to make that read and realize, I trust my line. I'm going to go ahead and do what it takes to get that extra yard. No one gets a touchdown.
Tristan Josephic in to attempt the point after from the hold of Pauling. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up and through. Norwin strikes first. 7-0, 8:04 to play in the first quarter here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Proudly serving the Norwin community, Norwin Teachers Federal Credit Union is more than a bank. It's where students, families, and local businesses grow together. From savings and checking to loans and mobile banking, NTFCU has the services you need. And with a branch right inside Norwin High School, students can start building smart money habits today. Visit norwinteachersfcu.org or download our mobile app. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal housing lender.
C. Harper Auto Group has been helping families hit the road with confidence for over 40 years. With our family of 11 brands, finding the right fit has never been easier. And when it's time for maintenance, our certified technicians are ready to take care of your vehicle and keep you moving every mile of your journey. Any make, any model, anytime. We don't just sell cars, we build relationships. Come experience the C. Harper difference and get the best price every time, all the time.
Norwin strikes first on a Tristan Tavares 1-yard run as Pfeiffer will put this on a line drive kick, and it'll roll out of bounds, and it will be an illegal kick, and we'll move it up to the 40-yard line. So Norwin, as we said, struck first. It is a 7-0 score, 8:04 to play here in this first quarter, and we'll see the Blue Devils for their 3rd possession with that ball hitting Markle's foot. That is actually a change of possession from Norwin. That is a turnover for Norwin. A giveaway, for the Knights, and a turnover for the Blue Devils. And this will be their 3rd possession at the 8:04 mark.
Yeah, and right now is an integral time, like early in the game, but you still want to try to establish your first down and get something that gets your offensive moving.
Rolling left is Smith. He's going to keep it himself, has some space. Nice job shooting up from his safety spot. And that was Carson Miller to make the stop for the Knights, limit the gain to only 1 for Smith, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, and that's a play that Tom Bowman from East Allegheny would appreciate, because he played, secondary, and he understands that Carson Miller does a nice job of just reading the run right there. It's just playing uphill right now. Once he sees the run, filling the gap and making sure that stops for a 1-yard gain.
2nd down and 9 with 7.5 to play here in this first quarter. Pat Smith will call his number to the left this time. Tucks it. Pressure's coming up from Pauling, and Pauling will lay a lick just shy of the 40-yard line to the 38 for a 2-yard gain for Smith, and will bring up their third down. They're 0 for 2 so far.
Yeah, and that's a nice senior play right there. So DeFazio does a good job of just blowing it up. Doesn't necessarily keep contained, but he does his job. He doesn't allow him to get to the edge on a pure line, bubbles him, makes him bubble far enough that Zach Paulin can come over, another senior, just clean it up and make sure there's no significant gain right there, keeping him at 3rd and 7 behind the sticks.
7:13 to play in this first quarter. It's a 7-0 Norwin lead. Looking to throw is Smith. Wants the far sideline, has a man, and not able to come up with the back shoulder fade. On that far side was Jackson Driscoll. It'll fall incomplete, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, actually a big-time throw right there. So anytime you go from right hash offensively to left numbers, that means he's actually rolling out to the right side and throwing at opposite numbers, and actually gives his receiver a chance to try to be able to make a play. But Marco, another senior there, just making sure that nothing here is going to be easy. You're going to contest every catch. You want to make sure that everything's earned here. You're not giving up anything easy. And Marco does a nice job just getting enough pure deflection in that process to make sure that it's not a clean catch.
Joe Malone punts this ball away, and it'll be Jake Knight to put a fair catch. He bobbles it. Ball's still loose. And fortunately enough for the Knights, it's Pauling to come up with it at the 31-yard line. And that's where the Knights will take over with 6:57 remaining in the first quarter here. Brian, I was thinking here, it's senior night. We've had a good crowd. It's been pretty buzzing in this press box tonight, but if you want me to be honest, it seems a little quiet, and it's because we don't have Tim McCabe here tonight. He's out hunting this weekend with his friends, and he's watching tonight's game. So, Coach, hello, good luck. We miss you here in the press box, and we hope you get a deer here this weekend.
Well, if you know Tim McCabe and if you know Mug Eagles, and I can guarantee you there's going to be meat in the freezer come about 24 hours. So I know they'd love to be here in spirit, but talk about spirit, that was a hard play right there, because Knight did a nice job of trying to field that, because those are those hidden yardage that you like your outfielder to be able to make. And he came over to try to make an aggressive catch, but he knew that his buddy, another senior, Zach Pauling, is going to clean him up. Even though he wasn't able to field it cleanly, Zach's there to go ahead and make sure that wasn't a turnover, and Knights have the ball now.
Rotroff gets the call here on 1st down. He's going to follow his blockers up to the 35. For a 4-yard gain, a nice modest 4-yard gain for Gio. As, believe it or not, Brian, he's already flirting with 100 yards on 3 carries. He's got 75, but that first one kind of helped out a little bit. 73 yards, as we said, on that carry on a 3rd down play nonetheless. This will be a 2nd down and 6 with 6.5 to play here in this first quarter. It's a 7-0 Norwin lead. 2 receivers either side here for Tavares. Fakes the handoff and will look to throw. He wants the deep ball. He's got Brzezinski, and it just overthrows him again. Another ball that, had that ball been a little bit more air under it, Brian, Potter's gone for a touchdown.
Yeah, no, but Tristan does a nice job making the correct read, and that's one of those things that
we got a flag, by the way. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Brian.
No. And it's going to be a holding, so maybe it's a blessing that wasn't connected. But I tell you what, good scheme, good design. It's one of those balls that Tristan is putting a little bit more air on it, which is nice. And just like to see them try to connect on it. But either way, right now they're putting themselves in a 2nd and long situation where they want to be able to get back in that 3rd and 9 situation, 3rd and 7 if you can.
Well, a 2nd and 18. Handoff goes to Rotroff on the near side here. Stumbles way up to the 30-yard line for a 6-yard gain. And will make it a little bit more manageable here on 3rd down. Will make it a 3rd down and 11. They go tempo, trying to get Mount Lebanon to jump on 3rd down and 11. The Knights are 1 for 1 on 3rd downs. Tavares barking out the calls. Timeout's going to be called for Norwin. We'll keep it here, and let's congratulate our Week 8 Westmoreland Sports Network Player of the Week. It's Greensburg-Salem's Brody Chismar. Brody threw for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns and rushed for 96 yards in the Golden Lions win over York last Friday. Check out a special interview with Brody, which aired on Westmoreland on the Gridiron on our YouTube channel. By the way, for the latest Westmoreland County High School football scores tonight, follow us on X at Westmoreland or check out our score tracker on our website, westmorelandsports.com. Both are updated frequently throughout the night, so you can get the most up-to-date scores on all of our Westmoreland County teams. We're trying to watch the scoreboards here tonight to see what's going on at that Central Catholic game. Not seeing any score updates right now for that game. They have, if you're on Max Preps and you see the final score of Mount Lebanon 67, Norwin 41, that is wildly incorrect. This game right now with the 5:48 mark in the first quarter, it is a 7-0 lead here for the Norwin. Dave Franzak alongside Brian Brzezinski. And let's give a shout out here to our camera guy, Matt Palumbo. Not only is he running camera, but he's also our director and producer here tonight. A little short-handed here from the Norwin Stadium, as Matt always does a great job for us here tonight. After the timeout, it'll be 3rd down and 11. Brackets to either side, looking to throw. Time. Now he steps up in the pocket. Pressure's there. Will heave it downfield. He's got Knight, and it's well over Knight, and will fall incomplete, and will bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, good job by Lebo there, bringing a little bit of pressure, but a great job by Tristan stepping up in the pocket, gaining extra time, and again, just a little bit too long right now, for his receivers that are breaking late and breaking open. Jake doing a good job right there. He's running. So Jake just runs a post, and now he's got to come in as the long snapper and does a great job. That's a subtle play right there. That's amazing.
Nice punt by Evan Pfeiffer. It's received at the 21-yard line, getting out of a tackle initially, and then bulldozing his way up to the 40-yard line is a Mount Lebanon receiver, and the ball will be spun at the 40-yard line with 5:26 to play in the first quarter. It's a 7-0 Norwin lead.
So for people that don't understand just what happened, so Jake Knight just goes ahead, lines up as the right outside receiver, runs a post that goes down the seam, gets thrown to him, sprints about 50 yards. And for people that are wondering why isn't this play going on, what ended up happening is he's the long snapper. So he has to sprint back, try to get in line, and not only just goes and subtly just goes over top of the ball, puts a perfect snap rate on, and then is on coverage team. Doesn't make necessarily the tackle, but man, you talk about these kids, like you don't always see that in the pro game or college game. These kids are going both sides, and that's a great effort there by Jake Knight.
Pat Smith calls his number on 1st down, but Kugler says no way, and will limit the quarterback's gain to only 2 yards. Pat Smith has all of the yardage for the Blue Devils tonight. He's got 5 carries for 10 yards. He's also 0 for 5 through the air.
Yeah, and a nice job right there of just making sure that the line, doing a good job of making sure their pads are parallel to the line of scrimmage, making sure that there's no big run gaps, and then Kugler and Santino doing a nice job of just filling anything, cleaning everything up.
2nd down and 8. As this time it's going to be a handoff to his man in the backfield, and that's going to be Chris Cambistis. It'll be a no gain.
Yeah, and so some names that you're not going to hear are going to be the line play. And right now, on the defensive side, you have Giovanni Algieri and you have the Fearley brothers, both Max and Jonah on the defensive side. On the offensive side, you have a lot of bodies right there. Norwin's winning the line of scrimmage, and that's a significant key, especially because it allows the second level to go ahead and be able to play the way they want to play. That is downhill and aggressive, whether that's going to go ahead and be on the defensive side or on the offensive side. So a lot of subtle compliments happening early on here in the game for Norwin.
3rd down and 8. Smith looking to throw, fires, and it's go well over his intended receiver's head. Falls incomplete. It was Chris Friedel, the senior wide receiver, as that'll be a 4th down now.
Yeah, 4th down. And again, what you like to see that what Norwood's doing is they're challenging the receivers. They're trusting the fact that their front line can go ahead and put enough pressure on, and they're challenging the quarterback to make significant throws in tight coverage. And it's tough. It's one thing to go ahead and throw these balls on airs, but when you have people coming down in your face and trying to put a pinpoint pass, it's tough and it's taxing. And so Norwin going to go ahead and make them make critical passes in areas that have little space early on.
Joe Malone has a nice high punt, and this time no fumble on the exchange on the return, and Jake Knight will fair catch it at the 26-yard line. 3:57 remains here in this first quarter of action. It is a 7-0 Norwin lead as they look to strike. They I can tell you what, Brian, that deep ball is there. If Tristan can connect with any of his receivers, this game could get blown out of the water very quickly. He'll go empty set here to start this drive. 2 receivers to either side, and it looks like it's DeFazio lined up as that H-back on the right-hand side. Empty set for Tristan. Now a man comes in motion, and it's Rotroff. Handoff goes to Rotroff. Rotroff wanted the left side for a moment, planted his foot, and keeps his leg turning up to the 30-yard line. Give him 4 yards on the carry, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, so one of the things that Norwin's doing is trying to go ahead and have pre-alignment to see what they're going into, and they're going with a 2-deep safety, which typically means when you see 2 deep, you like to try to run the ball, and that's what Norwin's trying to take advantage of early on here.
Gio's trying to get outside, has a man blocking for him out there, made a man miss as he crossed the 35, gets up near the 40 to the 37, and it'll be a 7-yard gain on a 1st down.
Yeah, football 101 is basically, all right, where are my chess pieces at, and how am I going to dictate what the defense wants to do? Are we going to put 2 safeties deep to go ahead and prevent the pass? Well, we're going to run at you because we have numbers, and that's what Norwin's doing right now.
The option play, Tavares will plant his foot, get across the 40 and to the 41-yard line, give him 3 yards on the carry. I'll bring up a 2nd down and 7. The option play was there for a moment. Tavares saw something else. Keeps the ball this time and throws it underneath the Knight. Knight makes a man miss to the 50. Makes a sidestep to the 45. Gets to the 40. Going to be tracked down from behind across the 35 to the 34. And a nice big gain for the Knights on a 1st down.
Yeah, so almost on key, right? So we were talking about 2 deep, right? So if you see 2 safeties deep, you're going to look to run it. That time they go with the single high, and what do? They go ahead and throw a little RPO action to Knight. Knight does a great job of being able to evade and make something happen.
25-yard gain as Brzeski gets the ball here on a 1st down curl route. Give him 11 yards on the reception. It'll be in back-to-back 1st downs for the Knights.
Yeah, and so right now, Norwin doing something that, just dictating what they want to do. Whatever the defense gives you, that's what they're going to go ahead and take.
1st and 10. Handoff goes to Rotroff. Rotroff sidesteps a man, will get up to the 20-yard line, and it'll put the Knights inside the Norwin Teachers Federal Credit Union red zone, providing family-like services since 1952. 3-yard gain there for Rotroff.
Yeah, just a good mix and match of what they're actually doing both with the run and the pass here.
Throwing the ball, hit hard on the throw, but able to get the pass off was Tavares. It falls incomplete to Brzeski. There was a man coming in, screaming in, wide open, coming down the middle, and that was Pat Smith, the other quarterback. 6'3", 220-pound senior. Bringing up a 3rd down. The Knights are 1 of 2 on 3rd downs tonight. That one being completed was the 73-yarder that Gio Rotroff broke off earlier. Handoff goes to Rotroff. No, Tavares keeps himself, but the pressure's on. The Blue Devils were not fooled and will sack Tavares, and it'll be a big loss on the play, and will bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, this is kind of flirting around with no man's land right now because it's definitely going to be a long field goal. The interesting aspect of high school is the fact that if you attempt a field goal, it's going to go to the 20 if it goes through the end zone. But it looks like right now they're going to go ahead and take a shot at trying to be able to make the 1st down happen.
They will stay down in 4th down. The Knights offense went 3 for 3 on 4th downs last week. Looking to throw. Has the time. Now stepping up in the pocket is Tavares. Pressure still being applied. There's just a ton of Blue Devils. He's getting out of the tackles, though. Throws it downfield. Knight can't come up with a jumping one-handed grab and will fall incomplete. Will be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, but give Tristan a lot of credit. That was a magical play to even have an attempt at getting a 1st down because what he evaded inside there, he took on 2 pass rushers that one had a hand on his shoulder pads, the other one had a chance at him for a sack, and what ended up happening is nothing was able to bring him down. He kept his eyes upfield. What was great about that is he actually kept his eyes upfield, saw Jake Knight, and had a chance, but man, that's a tough ball to throw. And he gave his best effort, just a little bit high for Jake as he was opening up around the 10-yard line.
The 5th possession for the Blue Devils start at the 1:11 mark in the 1st quarter. They trail 7-0 to Norwin. Looking to throw on 1st down is Pat Smith. Throws it high for his receiver. That intended receiver is Jackson Driscoll. And it'll be now 0 for 7 for Pat Smith through the air.
Yeah, and give Marco a lot of credit right there. They try to go with a little bit of a pick lane, a delayed little slant, if you would, trying to get the inside receiver to rub him. But Marco was right there in the hip, again, forcing pinpoint accuracy. If you don't have elite timing, it's not going to be open right now.
2nd down and 10. Bretz is on. Guess who's there? Josh Leonard. Came in free, had a free shot, took advantage of it, and it's a sack.
Yeah, and Leonard's been one of the backbones of the entire season, right? On both sides of the ball, he's your leader, man. He's there in the weight room. He's there in the workouts. He's there on both offensive and defensive side. And right there, he's just recognizing that he has a chance to make a significant play here on senior night. He makes it.
It's an 8-yard loss. We'll bring up a 3rd down and 18 with 35 seconds and rolling here in the first quarter. Norwin leads at 7-0 here on senior night, the regular season finale, as the Blue Devils will go empty set. Smith looking to throw. This time completes it underneath on a crossing pattern, spinning out of the tackle and getting enough for the first down. He needed 18. He got 19. It was Jackson Driscoll. That's the first completion for the Blue Devils tonight, and also the first 3rd down they've converted tonight.
Yeah, and so what happens there is you got 3rd and long, and so you're playing a little bit of a soft coverage. And give Lebo a lot of credit. They recognize the coverage, take the throw and catch for what it's worth, and then he's able to go ahead and grid out another 6 yards to get the first shot.
That'll be the end of the first quarter. After 1 quarter of play, it's 7-0 Norwin here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Hello, I'm Dr. Joseph Altier, here with Altier Chiropractic in Jeanette, Pennsylvania. As a sports chiropractor, I'm here to help the student athlete perform their best, whether it's improving spinal function, reducing pain, or boosting recovery after an injury. My goal is to keep you strong, competitive, on and off the field. Don't let discomfort and injuries hold you back. Let's work together to maximize your potential. Call my office today at 724-52-SPINE or visit my website, altierchiropractic.com. You only get one body. Let's maximize your potential.
Plumbing problems don't wait. Why should you? Level Green Plumbing and Heating is your go-to for expert service, specializing in drain and sewer repairs, water heater installation and maintenance, and even excavating and trenching. Frozen pipes this winter? We'll get the water running again in no time. We're here for you Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And when emergencies strike, our team is on call anytime. Call Level Green Plumbing and Heating today at 412-372-5544 or visit lgph.com.
Start of the second quarter will be a 1st down and 10 for the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils as they trail your Norwin Knights 7-0 here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Pat Smith will call it himself. Algieri wasn't able to make the stop as Brasco will make it, but not after a gain of 5 for Pat Smith.
Yeah, nice inside run right there is because now it's 1st down. You just had a chance to go ahead and move the 6 on a significant 3rd down gain. And Smith does a nice job, not trying to do too much, just establishing a presence of physicality, finishing a run and putting themselves in a situation that now they're ahead of schedule, 2nd and 5.
One of the better down and distance they've had tonight. He'll hand it off. Trying the right side and having some room. Gashing up is Sam McCauley. He needed 5 and he got 7. First carry for McCauley tonight.
Yeah, so now all of a sudden Lebo going ahead and getting a little bit of momentum and getting a little bit of rhythm on the offensive side, being able to go ahead and move the ball and put it in situations where they have the ability to go ahead and get plays where they're gaining yards and putting themselves, nothing substantial necessarily, but you don't have to have substantial plays. You just got to stay on schedule and take what the defense is giving you.
1st down and 10. Hand off. Brasco says no way to you, Mr. McCauley. No gain on the play will bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Brasco just does a great job as a linebacker right there. Coming in square, Doesn't give a knockout hit, but makes a short tackle that when he wraps you up, you know that you're moving backwards, and give Santino a lot of credit there. And give his line credit for making sure that he was clean to go ahead and fill that gap and make a play that it's going to put him at 2nd and 10.
10:15 remaining here in this first half of action. Norwin leads at 7-0. Rolling out is Pat Smith. Pressure's on from DeFazio. Trying to track him down and push from behind. Knight will wrap him up and will leave him short of the line to gain. Will be a 3rd down and 1 after the 9-yard gain from the senior quarterback. A design pass, but the Knights in man-to-man defense and leaves some open field. DeFazio just wasn't able to catch up. They'll go quickly under center. Goes Smith on 3rd down and 1. Pushes his way forward, and he'll definitely get it. He needed 1. He's going to get 2. And they'll convert the 3rd down and gives them 2 of 6 tonight here on 3rd downs.
Yeah, the play before, just one of those situations that gave up a little bit of contain, and as DeFazio is going ahead and trying to track him down, realizes that he can't necessarily make the play, tries to push him out of bounds, but gives Smith a lot of credit, man. He's able to go ahead and turn that edge, good athlete, and able to go ahead and get good yardage, give him enough to get the 1st down on the 2nd play.
Rolling right is Smith. He'll tuck it, and we'll get up to the 40-yard line, give him 3 yards on the carry, bring up a 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, so right now, Lebo finding their legs underneath them. And this is one of the things that we talked about early on, some emotion going. You got to make sure that, everything rides out. But right now, Lebo settling in on what they want to do offensively. Nothing crazy, just taking, again, their time, making plays that are, in their wheelhouse and not trying to do too much, just staying where they can gain consecutively 3rd, 4th, 6 yards on a play.
Pat Smith will keep it himself again. We'll get up to about the 37-yard line, so another 3 yards for him. Bring up a manageable 3rd down and about 4.
Yeah, and we're in that zone now where it looks like Smith and the Lebo offense is probably going to have 2 downs to get this. So right now, again, they're just chunking away and trying to establish a line of scrimmage and just be able to get those situations where they're putting them in makeable situations, not having to have big splash plays.
3rd down and 3. This will be the 7th 3rd down for the Blue Devils tonight. High snap. Smith brings it down, hits a man. He'll try to keep going. Max Fearley wraps him up, limits the gain to 1, and the Knights will stand them up on 3rd down again. This will be a manageable 4th down, and you would have to think with this being essentially a playoff game for the Blue Devils, they're going to be going. They have some rhythm right now on offense. Why not keep going with this?
Yeah, and one of the plays that was just made right there is Kugler was able to go ahead and shoot a gap, bump him off his line, and then the Fearley brothers between Max and Joan are able there to go ahead and make sure that he's not going to get anything close to the line of sticks. But 4th and 2, 4th and a long 3, however you want to view it, they have a situation here where they can either go for it or try to pin them deep here with a quick kick.
7.5 to play, 4th down and 3, firing up the middle, not going to be able to get there is Pat Smith.
And right there, what they did a nice job is just making sure that they went and took every gap available, and there was nothing happened there on the inside power.
So it'll be a turnover on down for Norwin with 7:22 remaining here in this first half of action. Norwin currently leads at 7-0. This is only the 4th possession for the Knights tonight as they go shotgun. Tavares will keep it himself on the left side. Tries to get somewhere. Didn't have a whole lot of room to work with as he just scampered out of bounds for maybe a yard. They will only give him 1 yard on that carry. So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 9 as they look to the sidelines to get the call. Shotgun again for the Knights. Handoff goes to Gio Rotroff. Rotroff breaks the tackle, gets to the 45, keeps his legs churning across the 50, and they'll mark him down right there at midfield for a nice gain of 14 on that carry.
Yeah, just an impressive job by the line of scrimmage, just making a good push there and making sure that they're getting significant yards.
Too many men on the field for the Blue Devils. They were able to spot it and get a timeout before the flag was to fly. We'll take a quick timeout here. 7 minutes to play in the first half. Norwin leads at 7-0.
Next, golf adventure awaits at Manor Valley Golf Course in Export. Manor Valley offers 18 scenic holes over gentle sloping fairways and the purest putting surfaces around. Manor Valley Golf Course in Export is the perfect place to host your next golf outing, banquet party, or shower. Manor Valley also offers league play and great membership rates. Tee times available. Call 724-744-4242. Visit ManorValleyGC.com.
7 minutes remains here in this first half of action. A little bit of a stat correction thanks to Paul Schofield here to our left. That Rotroff carry was 79 yards, not 73 yards, giving him 95 here on the night. As the Knights will go first down and 10 on the plus side of things here at the Mount Lebanon 49-yard line. First down and 10 as the Knights lead it 7-0. Dave Franzak alongside Brian Brzeski. We have the aforementioned Matt Palumbo to our right on camera, and also our director and producer. Tavares will keep it himself, get 3 yards up to the 46. Not a bad rushing attack here for the Knights tonight. Not a bad overall offense. They have 22 plays ran for 161 yards and that touchdown.
Yeah, and so both sides still kind of like just doing what they want to do and making sure that they're gaining significant yards on the downage that's presented to them.
Flag flies before the snap. And we'll get our second penalty. It'll be a false start against the Knights. That'll be their second penalty as well, 2 for 15.
Yeah, and those are the plays that you want to try to minimize, obviously, is make sure that you're not giving up any of that hidden yardage. And right there, as you're having the ball going, you have the run game going, you want to try to minimize any of those little, like...
Well, getting that hidden yardage back is going to be Rotroff. He's going to get about 7 on the carry, and that'll push him over 100 yards on the first half with 6 minutes to play in the first half. Norwin's going to go tempo here on third down and 6. Ball at the Mount Lebanon 45-yard line. Norwin is 1 of 3 on third downs tonight. Hand off to Rotroff. No, it's going to be thrown underneath to Fazio. 40, gets to the 35, has some room to the 25. Is going to be undercut as a flag comes in late downfield. It's going to be in the area of a holding penalty. We'll see what the call is here, Brian, because it's going to be pass interference against Norwin. They're going to call Cooper Wilson out there. I'm sorry. They're going to get, Cooper Wilson out there on a pass interference. That was a very late flying flag, though.
Yeah, so, I think that what they wanted to call is holding downfield, not necessarily pass interference, because it looked like it happened actually downfield towards the end of the play, and Cooper just does a nice job trying to make a play for his buddy. Just gets a little handsy towards the end, but long story short, Norwin has a first down, and that's a good game.
Yep, it's one of those weird situations where it still remains a first down. However, it's a weird situation where the play doesn't stand, so that completion does not count. But this play does count, and that is going to be a Gio Rotroff 3-yard gain. So a weird occurrence where you get a positive yardage penalty because it is a spot foul. Norwin still gets the first down with 5:07 and rolling here in this first half of action. They lead it 7-0. They need to get some more points here on this board as Tavares tries to keep it himself and is going to be swallowed up in the backfield by Chris Friedel, and it'll be a loss of 3. We'll bring up now a third down and 10.
Yeah, and it looks like Lebo right there just selling out for the run, given that they brought in Leonard, and Leonard's going to go ahead and come in as possibly that little like extra threat or extra lead blocker, and that's what makes his versatility special right there as a senior coming in for Norwin. And now a critical third down and 10 here.
Norwin leads it 7-0 with 4.5 to play in the first half. Looking to throws Tavares. He has time for a moment, has the pressure. Now will throw off his back foot. He's got 2 receivers there bouncing around, and neither one of them knew who it was going to. falls incomplete. It was Leonard and Brozeski there, and will bring up a 4th down and 10.
Yeah, and again, we're in one of those situations that's no man's land. You're at the 35, such that you can actually punt this away and try to pin them deep, or you can go ahead and try to play a situation where you can go ahead and try to get the first down, because right now the good punt can possibly gain you another 15, 20 yards of field position where you can get the first down.
Norwin's going to try to get them to jump off sides, and I think they'll be content with taking the 5-yard penalty and giving a little bit of breathing room for Pfeiffer. By the way, a little scoring update as we do take this penalty for Norwin. Central Catholic leads Cannon McMillan 7-3 in the second quarter. Are they officially calling a penalty, or are they calling a timeout? There is no laundry on the field. Oh, there it is. There's the delay of game penalty. So Norwin now with 4 penalties for 35 yards, and deep to receive is going to be Jacob Zaber for the Blue Devils. Pfeiffer doesn't get the best punt off. It takes some backspin, and Norwin will down it at about the 17-yard line. 4 minutes remain here in this first half of action in this game, where it feels like Norwin is absolutely dominating this game, but they only have 7 points to show for it.
Yeah, and that's the part that you have to be worried about, is the fact that you have all the momentum, but you're still just one play away from being tied up. And so right now, if you're Norwin, you want to keep on playing with confidence, but you also got to understand, got to try to capitalize the moments that are at stake.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Pat Smith and the Blue Devils on their 6th possession of this half. Shotgun formation for the Blue Devils. They trail at 7-0. Wanting to throw. Wants the wheel route. Good coverage. Now he's going to try to tuck it himself, and there's going to be a couple of nights there. Algieri as well as Brasco. Brasco was just mirroring Pat Smith the whole way, and coming underneath was Markle to seal that. It'll actually be a loss on the play of 1.
Yeah, and great recognition right there. Jake Knight sees the wheel route coming, covers the wheel, and then actually covers the converted post on the scramble route, and that allows Algieri and Santino Brasco to go ahead and finish it up for a sack.
Quick throw on the slant on the outside. Ball's up in the air, and it was going to fall incomplete. A high passing attempt there for Maxton Siegel, and will fall incomplete.
Yeah, so right now you're at that 3rd and 11 mark, and so right now, as Lebo, you have a situation to go ahead and digest here, because you're up against it as far as field position is concerned, and do you go ahead and try to keep the clock running, or you try to go ahead and get this first down?
Each team has 2 timeouts remaining in this half. Fairley fires up the middle. It's going to be a swing pass on the outside. It's going to fall over the head of Kim Bitstis, and will bring up another 4th down.
Yeah, and good pressure inside forces a quick throw, which that quick throw goes high and outside. And so what happens there is not only does Norwin go ahead and get the stop, but they allow it to conserve time, conserve the timeouts. Should get good field position right here, getting the ball back after the punt.
So they hold the Blue Devils, so another 3 and out. Joe Malone will punt the ball away. As Central Catholic now extends their lead 14-3 over Cannon McMillan. Decent punt here by the Blue Devils. And we'll call fire, and take a huge Mount Lebanon bounce. We'll go all the way down to the 38-yard line where it is down.
Yeah, just an effective punt right there, because on record, doesn't look like the prettiest punt in the world, but it's end over end. What that does is it's in end over end, and Jake Knight is on the opposite side of where he was anticipating the ball to be. So Jake makes a good decision, not trying to scramble and make a crazy catch, allows it to bounce. And so now field possession, not terrible, but not as good as it could have been for Norwin. 3:03 left. 2 timeouts, but you're starting, 35 and going on your side. So you still have a lot of time and a lot of things in play right now.
Ball spotted at the Norwin 38 to start this drive. And this is only the 5th possession for the Knights tonight. Tavares throws it underneath. It's complete to DeFazio. DeFazio tries to make his man miss. Can't do so.
Yeah, it goes with a little like pseudo empty set, if you would. And what I mean by that is, DeFazio actually staying in line, but he's going to actually be that extra receiver. And so Tavares does a nice job just reading it and giving a good pass and catch situation to put him at a second and manageable. Now putting him at 3rd and short here.
Yeah, Rotroff takes a nice carry of 4 yards up to near midfield across the 45, and will bring up a 3rd down and about 1. Tavares will keep the ball himself, gets outside to the 50 and crosses the timeline, the midfield to the, I'm thinking basketball already, the timeline, as he gets up to the 48-yard line, and a nice 5-yard carry for the senior quarterback.
Yeah, just a nice job making sure that you're getting a first down and getting that extra set of downs to go ahead. Now you have 2:20 going and you have 2 timeouts, so you can run it or you could actually put the ball in the air. Either way, you have a lot of options open.
Tavares wants to throw quick, and he does. Completes it to DeFazio to the 45-yard line for a 4-yard completion.
Yeah, and Tristan, again, just doing a nice job, not panicking the situation, just understanding, man, I have more people in the box than what they're trying to cover, and just taking a nice, subtle 5-yard gain. No rush here. A lot of time with 2 timeouts, 2 minutes to go.
Ball to Mount Lebanon 45. Tavares steps outside. He wanted the middle for a minute, tries to make a man miss, spins away, and is going to get up to the 42-yard line for a 3-yard carry, and he'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3.
Yeah, another big 3rd down right now. Still staying in that manageable situation, not in a pressure situation. You still got 1:30 left on the clock, but it's now is the time that after this, you either got to go and convert into that hurry up or in that little bit of a passive mode. So good job right here of understanding the clock.
3rd down and 3. Tavares lowers his shoulder pad, and that second fall forward was going to give him the first down. He needed 3. He got 3, and that's a big first down to get there with 1:13 and rolling here. They're going to go tempo, do the Knights. Looking to throw quickly. No, not there. Tavares fakes the step up. Now wants to go deep for Brzezinski. Throws off his back foot, and it'll go out of bounds, and it'll fall incomplete.
Yeah, not the worst thing in the world right there, in the fact that it actually stops the clock. And what ends up happening here is now you have 1 minute and 2:10, but you're basically 15 yards away from field position to go ahead and try a field goal.
2nd down and 10. 59 seconds remains here in this first half. Rotroff is going to get back to the line of scrimmage at best, and that is where they'll mark him down. No gain there for the Knights. Will bring up a 3rd down and 10. They're 3 of 7 tonight.
Yeah, 2 timeouts now. Now is a situation that you want to go ahead and make sure that you have a play that you feel like you can possibly get the first down or at least put yourself in a position to make a decision you want to make on the next play.
Looking to throw. Throws it, and it's going to be complete to Pauling. Pauling's going to spin his way out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It's only going to be a 9-yard gain, so we'll bring up a 4th down.
Well, they're running the clock.
Yeah, Norwin will take their time, take a time out. Excuse me. We'll keep it here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. 7-0. Norwin leads it with 19 seconds remaining here in this first half of action. It'll be 4th down and 1. Norwin still has 1 timeout. Mount Lebanon has 2 timeouts. Norwin will get the ball to start the second half in a playoff game here, essentially a playoff game here in the regular season. We said the other game that we're watching, the scoreboard watching, it's a 14-3 lead for Central Catholic over Cannon McMillan. That is in the second quarter.
Yeah, and what they're doing right now is they're actually acknowledging the fact that, the clock was at a situation that it kept on running, but they put it back at 24, given the fact that they made a good completion, but Zach did a nice job to make sure that he was finishing his run upfield. If you're finishing your run upfield and goes out of bounds, then the clock continues, the clock stops because he was making an upfield effort. If he was retreating back, then that clock actually stops. And so now's the situation. One time out here, you have the capability, knowing that the clock stops after first down. You can run for a first down, have a good second play as your pass play, and then if you don't like any of that, possibly kick the field goal.
Norwin's 0 of 1 on fourth downs tonight, as this is a pretty short one. Tavares is not going to get it. As a matter of fact, he's going to lose yards, as coming up is Jacob Zaber to make the stop. He's going to lose about 3 on that stop.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Brian, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there. I think we all knew it was going to happen there, and I think we all knew it was going to be Tavares to the right side.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, hey, in these types of games, you're going to go ahead and have best on best. You're just going to go ahead and say, hey, I don't have to disguise anything. I'm going to tell you guys where we're running, and you're just hoping that you can outman them to a play and give Lebo a lot of credit there. They understood the situation. They understood, who was getting the ball, and they sold out to it, and they were able to stop it.
So 21 seconds remains in this first half, and the Blue Devils have 2 timeouts. I was watching their kickers warm up, not the strongest kickers, as Smith will call his own number, and will be brought down for a loss of 1 on the carry. And they'll be content, I think, to just let this game go to half.
Yeah, based off that play, everyone's going to go ahead and say, all right, let's get to halftime and see what's going to go ahead and happen here in the second half.
Central Catholic, by the way, has just extended their lead again to 17-3. There's about 6 minutes to play in the first half in that game. This game goes to half, as we will go into the Independence Health System halftime show here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Expert care here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll enjoy the sights and sounds of both marching bands here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. At the half, Norwin leads at 7-0 over Mount Lebanon on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Alzheimer's disease, believe it or not, kills more people than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. Up until recently, healthcare options to treat Alzheimer's disease were quite limited. We had oral medications, but they were not known to change the underlying trajectory of the disease. Recently, new medications have been released. These medications are infusions that have actually been shown in studies to change the course of the disease itself. We are honored to be the first in our region to provide
We welcome you inside the Independence Health System halftime show here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Expert care here. At the half, it is 7-0 Norwin over Mount Lebanon. You're seeing the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils marching band. We'll step aside and let you enjoy the sights and sounds of that, followed by the Norwin Knights marching band here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
again. Drum captain is Holly Ayobe. Front ensemble captains are Sam Shaw and Myra Zapto. Color guard captains are Emma Smale, Eleanor Shelby Albert, Georgia McElwain, and Grace Pendergrass.
That was the sights and sounds of the Mount Lebanon Marching Band here on the Westmoreland Sports Network in the Independence Health System halftime show here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Expert care here. At the half, Norwin leads at 7-0 over Mount Lebanon as we get ready to hear the sights and sounds of the Norwin Knights Marching Band here on the Independence Health System halftime show. Expert care here.
Thank you for your kind attention.
Dr. Herman Rorschach discovered that the way a person reacts to ink blots reflects the kind of person he is. Based upon this discovery, Dr. Rorschach introduced a new method of psychological testing.
I'm going to show you some images. Tell me, what do you see?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field from North Huntington, Pennsylvania, the Norwin High School Marching Band. Our 2025 production is entitled, What Do You See? We will present the first two movements for you tonight. Norwin High School is proud to present drum majors Evan Roper, Royce Jackson, and the Norwin High School Marching Band. gentlemen, the Norwin High School Marching Band.
That was the sights and sounds of the Norwin Knights Marching Band here on the Independence Health System halftime show on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Expert care here. At the half, Norwin leads at 7-0 over Mount Lebanon. When we come back, we'll wrap up the first half, get you ready for second half action here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
DBAT Pittsburgh East, the area's premier baseball and softball training academy, is now open in Westmoreland County. Our 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility features dual fungo man pitching machines, hit tracks enabled cages, and professional bullpens. With private baseball and softball instruction, we're here to help you dominate the diamond. And don't forget to stop into our pro shop, powered by Rawlings and Easton, for the latest gear. DBAT Pittsburgh East, now open in export. Visit dbatpiteast.com.
Hurry in to Mike Camlin Hyundai during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. New 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe's and Palisades, both available with 0% financing for 60 months. All vehicles are backed by the Mike Camlin Advantage. Oil changes for life.
Your next golf adventure awaits at Manor Valley Golf Course in Export. Manor Valley offers 18 scenic holes over gentle sloping fairways and the purest putting surfaces around. Manor Valley Golf Course in Export is the perfect place to host your next golf outing, banquet party, or shower. Manor Valley also offers league play and great membership rates. Tee times available. Call 724-744-4242. Visit ManorValleyGC.com.
East Suburban Sports Medicine Center, Western Pennsylvania's #1 physical therapy practice since 1984, is always offering same-day or next-day appointments for all new patients. With 9 convenient locations and extensive therapy services, ESSMC offers the best care anywhere, hands down. Call 412-856-8060 or visit ESSMC.com to schedule today.
I feel like it's definitely very important, like for high school, because a lot of kids, get peer pressured into drinking and doing drugs. So like doing the events like in a school setting, I feel like definitely like try to prevent kids from like going to like parties and drinking and driving and doing drugs and being peer pressured.
We just want to, talk about the dangers of the substance abuse in our community, and we want to help be a part of stopping that.
We welcome you back inside the Independence Health System halftime show here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Expert care here. Did I say Independence? I hope I did, not Excella, as they are now Independence Health System. I've done that a couple times, Brian. You try to give me all. See why I said you shouldn't give me all that credit, because I mess it up all the time. 7-0 Norwin leads it here over Mount Lebanon here on the Westmoreland Sports Network at the Knights Castle. Dave Franzak alongside Brian Brzeski bringing you tonight's action with Matt Palumbo on camera, director and producer tonight. He's wearing it all, wearing every cap here, and he's doing a fantastic job here as Norwin leads at 7-0 over Mount Lebanon. And it's a game, Brian, you and I were just saying before we went on air that it feels like this game should be at least a 21-0 lead for Norwin, as they're really controlling this game, but only have 7 points to show for it. And truthfully, if Gio doesn't break off that 79-yard run, it might not even be a 7-0 game.
Yeah, that's, a blessing and a curse in disguise, however you want to take it. And so both coaching staffs going into halftime, you can spin this game as a positive no matter which side you want to be on, is the fact that, hey, we just went and we played a game, and both sides are going to say we're a play away from being either tied up or to be able to be in separation mode where we're now 2 possessions away instead of 1 possession away. So a lot's going to be told here in this third quarter, but what has to happen is whoever's going to come out on top of here has to play their game. No one can feel pressed to try to do more. You just have to go out and execute what you think is your best opportunity to go ahead and either move the ball or stop the ball and be able to get that extra play and that big play. We still have yet to see that big play next to G. Don't get me wrong, G's run was a great run. But that next turnover type play or game-breaking like type of change of direction or change of possession type play.
Norwin has had the ball for 5 possessions, 12 minutes and 15 seconds, averaging 2.5 minutes of possession. They've ran 36 plays for 198 yards. They have 59 through the air and 139 on the ground. They're averaging 5.5 yards per play. They have 4 penalties for 35 yards, and they're also 38% on third downs. The Blue Devils, and I should mention they're 0 for 2 on fourth downs. The Blue Devils on the other side, though, have 19 on the ground. Through the air, 32 through on the ground, 51 total for 29 plays, averaging just about 2 yards per play. They've had the ball 7 times for 11:45, averaging 140 a possession. Pat Smith has 44 of their 51 yards. He's got 25 on the ground and 19 through the air.
So, again, you're getting into special teams here also. And so looking at the special team side of things this is where you get some hidden plays where you can get either field position type situations or you can actually get that change of momentum. So Lebo right now, nothing to lose. Who knows? Maybe they come out with a little bit of an onside kick if they saw something that they like. Or Norwin on the flip side, maybe they have something on return that they go ahead and they say, hey, we see something that we think we could take advantage of, and maybe we're going to go ahead and try to make a play ourselves.
Tristan Tavares has 59 yards through the air and 30 on the ground for 89 total yards and has the lone touchdown. It looks like, Brian, they are going to go for a little onside action here to start things off here. Is Mount Lebanon. It's just going to be a pooch kick to an up man, and waving his hand for the pooch kick is the up man, Locke Myers.
Yeah, and Locke actually does a nice job right there just understanding the situation. As a return person, you never want to actually back up and take it away from a returner, so Locke didn't do that. He understood that ball was in front of him, calls for the fair catch, and right now, if I'm Norwin, I'm thinking, hey, we're in decent field position. It's pretty much a push right there. You like, that 20 to 30 is kind of like a push type zone. Anything inside the 20 is a kickoff team win. Anything beyond the 30 is a kickoff return win. So it's kind of that push area.
So Norwin will have it first down and 10 from the Norwin 28. They made a clock adjustment, by the way. They did run 1 second off of that. And undercutting is Josh Leonard, but they did run 1 second off that clock, and they put it back to 12 minutes is where it should be. Tempo offense here as Norwin gets a 7-yard completion to Josh Leonard to start this drive. Rotroff. Yeah. Is he going to get enough for the first down? Looks like he is. He needed 3. He got 4 and a first down.
So on first down, what you like that you saw that they had a little bit of off, but they're playing a 2 safety that's coming downhill right now, and that was able to go ahead and take Josh, and it looks like he has a little hitch. Hopefully that's nothing more than just a little bit of a contact that's causing him. And given the type of character that Josh is, he's going to go ahead and he's going to play this game out, especially on senior night.
Quick throw again. It bounces out of DeFazio's hand. Tip drill almost goes to Brozeski, and had Potter caught that, he was going 45 yards without anybody around him.
Yeah, that was actually interesting, right? So, again, inside receiver, a little bit of off coverage. So they're seeing that inside, getting that safety to play down, and they're taking number 2, trying to get some yardages that are unhidden.
This number 2 here is Gio Rotroff, as he's going to stumble forward to the 38-yard line. It'll be a gain of 3.
Yeah, so now it puts them at third down, and in a situation where they're trying to go ahead and get, third and +5 is somewhere where, you don't want to be living, but it's something that's capable.
Under route is going to go to Pauling, but Pauling is well short of the line to gain. He needed to get up to the 49-yard line. He's only going to get to the 45-yard line, and it's only going to be a short gain of 2.
Yeah, so looks like just, good design, but just a little bit of unawareness in that aspect where they're running 2 to a shallow lane, and what ends up happening is good timing, but just well short of the sticks. And as Zach's toe tapping, it's just not effective enough to get the first down.
Nice spiraling punt there by Pfeiffer. It's taken by Mount Lebanon as they break free to the 30, and they're going to be forced out of bounds by Locke Myers up to the 33-yard line. So not a great possession there for Norwin as they go 3 and out, they got 1 first down there on that, but are not able to convert on third down. And Mount Lebanon they're sticking around in this game. I told you, Brian, that this is not a walk in the park. They might be one of the best 2-7 teams around the WPIL, and they have 2 wins in conference, which is making them right now in playoff contention.
Yeah, and it's just, psychology of sports just in general. Anytime that you allow a team to stick around longer and longer, they start believing a little bit more and more in the fact that, wait a second, we're in this game. And so right now, Lebo playing with a lot of confidence, and this is a critical possession here for them.
Wanting it all, going downfield and making a catch, spinning away from his defender and going all the way, one play. And we have a potential tied ball game.
And that's where that, 7-point differential comes into play is Pauling, not necessarily in bad defense, but just they went ahead and were willing to go ahead and give a playmaker a chance to make a play, and he did. And Zach actually in decent position there, but the receiver just doing a better job of actually playing the ball, comes down with it. And right now, Lebo's in position to go ahead and tie this up.
67-yard completion and a touchdown for the Blue Devils. Is on to attempt the point after is Josh Huff. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and kick is through. Tie ball game, 10-16 remains in the third quarter here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Game day or any day, the power of Bowser is here to get you where you need to go. From the latest Hyundai, Nissan, Subaru, Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, and Genesis models to quality pre-owned vehicles, Bowser has the perfect lineup for your drive. Look for a winning deal. Bowser's got the plays, great financing, top trade-in values, and a selection that's always in season. From the first whistle to the final buzzer, Bowser Automotive is your hometown MVP. Bowser Automotive, Route 51 South on top of the hill. PowerofBowser.com.
Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices. Located in the Greengate East Plaza, below Walmart, Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we are here as your one-stop shop. At Play It Again Sports in Greensburg, everybody plays.
Tie ball game, 10-16 remains in the third quarter here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. There's another pooch kick. This time it's actually going to go deep, and it's going to take a Mount Lebanon bounce. Brzezinski picks it up at the 20 and is only going to go to the 21. And things right now, at least for me, Brian, up here, feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, and so right now, Lebo being able to go ahead and make decisions that are putting the situation favorable for them. So possibly the opening kickoff was favorable because you saw the pooch kick. But right there, Norwin, unable to make the adjustment, seeing that the kicker was going with another pooch alignment, allowed that ball to go ahead and drop. And so with the drop, that goes ahead and, again, puts in that between 20 and 30, but probably a situation that Lebo's willing to live with.
Tavares had pressure on him and will just try to get a quarterback draw. He's going to lose a couple yards. And Norwin, unfortunately, Brian, I think is starting to become predictable here on offense as they lose a yard. The Blue Devils are firing right up the middle, and they're keeping Rotroff and Tavares limited on yardage.
Yeah, and right now you could definitely tell a little switch in momentum, but it's one of those things that, as the game goes on, you just got to be able to take a punch and give a punch.
Complete here as sliding is going to be Markle, but makes the catch on second down. It's going to go up to the 25 for a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, and so a nice little pitch and catch right there, and Buddy does a nice job being able to make the catch. Fortunately for Lebo, he's unable to keep his feet, and that's what keeps that at a minimal gain.
Running is Rotroff on third down. Will get up to the 30-yard line, and he's going to be a yard shy. He needed 7. He only got 6. Hold on a moment. They're going to call it 4th and 1, Brian.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of decision right there, given the fact that where the ball was spot.
Rotroff on 4th down marches his way up to the 46-yard line for a 16-yard gain and a 1st down.
Yeah, I think originally the referees were thinking the ball was on the 20. That's why when it went over the 30, they wanted to call a 1st down, but it wasn't.
Fighting his way forward again is Rotroff for 4.
You can see right now that it looks like Norwin's going to go ahead and say that we're going to go ahead and make an opportunity to make this a scoring drive and not just settle for a change of field position.
8.5 to play in the 3rd quarter. Rotroff has a hole for a moment, spinning his way forward. He needed to get to the 44-yard line. He got exactly to the 44-yard line, and it will be a 1st down. They'll stay in tempo. Norwin hands it off again. Rotroff holding on to the ball. Did it come loose? It looked like it might have for a moment. It did come loose, Brian. No, they're saying Norwin still has the ball. Hold on a moment.
2nd down.
2nd down.
Yeah, and looks like that ball, I couldn't tell, but you could just tell by this way that the huddle was actually scurrying for the ball. That looks like something squirmed out. I like the fact that Lebo, they're going ahead and doing what they should do on defense, pointing the opposite direction, saying it's theirs, but Norwin able to retain the ball in that possession.
3-yard gain for Rotroff. It'll be 2nd down and 7. He gets a hole. 30. Bounces outside of the 25. Can't make that man miss, but will get brought down at the 19-yard line as Norwin enters the Norwin Knights Teachers Federal Credit Union Red Zone, providing family-like services since 1952. Tavares rolls left and is going to be brought down for a big loss on the play of 11.
Yeah, so what ended up happening there is they looked like they were going for a little bit of RPO and nothing open on the outside. Tristan tries to go ahead and tuck it and scramble and unable to make anything happen. Unfortunately, it's a significant loss right there.
2nd and 21 now as the ball goes back to the 30-yard line. Rotroff made a man miss momentarily and is going to get forward to the 25 for 5 yards, as this will bring up a 3rd down and long. It'll be the 11th 3rd down by Norwin tonight. And just when you had momentum going, that sack killed it. Tunnel screen is going to go complete underneath to Markle, but it's only going to be for 5 yards, and it'll bring up a 4th down. No, it's going to be no gain, Brian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, try to get them to go ahead and try to play heavy on the field side with a little bit of motion, and what ends up happening is they're able to go ahead and guard that, and they also were doing a nice job of staying home on the boundary side and sniffing out that tunnel screen.
They're going to let Josephic have an attempt here. It's going to be from 42 yards out from the right hash. Pauling will hold. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up. Does it have enough? No good.
Looks like it's just on the edge of his distance. Good hit ball, but just comes out literally probably about a yard or two short, just crossing over right before the threshold of the upright. Good strike on the ball, good hold, just a little bit outside of his range.
Are you feeling anxious?
You know what? It feels like every other game that we've had. It's going to go down to the 4th quarter where, it's just a good high school football game that every play matters right now, and you got to make sure that you're making the team earn it. But one thing that's hidden right there is, even though that was a miss, since it goes through the end zone, you actually gain yardage on the field position side because it goes ahead and puts the ball on the 20.
It'll be a 1st down and 10 for Mount Lebanon. They struck on one play on that last drive of 67 yards to Maxton Siegel, as they'll spread the field out again. Looking to throw is Pat Smith. Throws underneath, and it's just over the hands and out of the fingertips of his intended receiver. This time was Kevin King.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that as a receiver, Kevin King's going to understand that right there, that's an October ball, that's not an August ball. So that ball that he's going to catch in August comes in and just snatches right in, especially with those gloves. But when that temperature starts getting below 50 degrees and in that 40 degrees, a little bit more slick. And so good ball, just unfortunately it slips through his hands in that case, probably because it's a little bit more firm.
Handoff in the backfield. And scurrying his way forward is going to be Jacob Zaber for about 2 yards. Santino Brasco on the stop.
Yeah, nice job by Santino. He's been doing a nice job just being able to go ahead and play his alignment, play his responsibility, fill gaps when needed, and making sure that they're minimizing any type of run situations, making short tackles, and if he's not bringing them down by himself, he's making sure that his buddies that are there to go ahead and top it off.
3rd down and 9. Smith will run it himself. Kugler comes in to make a hit, but he misses him, and it'll be Brasco to make the stop, and will bring up a 4th down.
Again, Santino just doing a nice job of staying square to the football, able to go ahead and get good contact on the ball carrier, and the good contact makes sure that it stabilizes them, so that way your buddies are able to go ahead and wrap it up and clean it up and make sure that nothing was gained significantly for an opportunity to possibly go for it on 4th down or to make the 4th down or make the 1st down.
7-7 ball game here from the Knights Castle. 4:45 remains in the 3rd quarter. 4th down as the Blue Devils will kick a high punt, and it's going to go out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. And they'll mark it out at the 43-yard line. So Norwin will start with the ball on the plus side of things here for this drive.
Yeah, just a high punt that comes off the side of the foot. Good contact on it, but just that drop is intricate. So when it's off just a little bit, it can actually spray off to the right side, and that's what happens, unfortunately, there for Mount Lebo.
The 8th possession for Norwin tonight. Talk about those gloves, and I've noticed Zach Pauling has taken his off for the night. Tavares will keep it on the RPO look there, and will dive forward to the 40 for 3 yards. That's his first positive yardage run in his last 3 carries. 2nd and 7 for the Knights. DeFazio comes in motion, will set behind the right tackle. And off goes to Rotroff, has open field, 30, makes a man miss, 20, 15, 10, holds on to that ball, and it will be brought down at the 7-yard line for a 33-yard gain. And the Knights have now entered the Norwin Teachers Federal Credit Union red zone, providing family-like services since 1952. 1st and goal from the 7, shotgun for the Knights. Tavares, right side, has nowhere to go, and is going to fight to get back to the line of scrimmage. They'll mark him down actually for a loss on the gain of 1, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and goal from the 8.
Yeah, and Norwin finding a lot of success going inside the tackles, actually, and hitting it right up inside, being able to go ahead and catch them in a flow situation, G being able to make a nice cut and be able to find situations where he can run for significant yards.
Made another nice cut there as he fights his way forward up to the 4-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and goal from the 4, as Rotroff has eclipsed 200 yards rushing tonight. He's averaging 10 yards a carry, Brian.
Yeah, and a lot of that is going inside right now, making people play the perimeter, but he's going ahead and going the shortest distance between 2 points.
Throwing for the end zone, touchdown, Zach Pauling!
Yeah, nice little play-action type, pass-type situation where they make him respect the run, but a good job running the pick lane. So what's nice about that is they run a little bit of a pick play where Pauling's initially setting a pick for Leonard to go to the pylon, and they cover the pylon, and then there you have Pauling sneaking out the back, working the back line of the end zone, and Tristan does a great job putting a good ball on him right in his catch radius that makes it a nice, easy pitch and catch in his stomach.
Pauling will hold for Josephic. Good snap. Good hold. Kick is up and through. Norwin takes the lead. 14-7, 3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Some moments on the field go beyond the game. They shape who we become. At Home Team Collections, we honor those moments with the care and craftsmanship they deserve. Because these moments aren't just memories, they're a legacy worth preserving. Any team, any sport, any logo. Visit HomeTeamCollections.com today and save $10 off your first order.
I am the swiftest creature alive. will make it.
That's where we come in. The Collision Shop by Jason Mignon is your one-stop shop for all things auto body repair. Our experienced technicians and state-of-the-art facilities have you covered. Body repairs, refinishing, glass replacement, and more. Our friendly office staff is happy to assist you through every step of your vehicle's repair process. Visit thecollisionshopbyjason.com for our complete list of services.
14-7, Norwin takes the lead here at the Knights Castle. Dave Franzak alongside Brian Brzezinski bringing you tonight's action here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. 3 minutes remain in the third quarter as Pfeiffer will try the onside kick. Does Norwin have it? It's still loose. Locke is pointing they have the ball. We'll wait for the officials. Lockmeyer says he has it.
I'm not sure.
Hold on a minute.
I think Cam Clash just came to the sideline and handed it to Coach Brown. This is going to be interesting, though. They're calling it the other way.
I think they're saying that the ball was touched before it got to the 10-yard distance, Brian.
Oh.
Yep, that's exactly what they're saying. They're saying Norwin touched the ball before it hit the – I thought that might have been the case, truthfully. It looked like it might have skipped and hit Pfeiffer's foot. And that's exactly what it is. It's going to be illegal touching. It'll go where the spot of the foul was, which will go to the Norwin 49.
I tell you what, man, that's a close call because I tell you what, it's pretty well executed right there. Pfeiffer does a nice job of making sure he just puts a little bit of finesse to that ball. It pops up real nice, and Norwin does a nice job making sure they come up with an opportunity to take out those lead people that could recover it and come up with a scoop. Unfortunately, it looks like they're saying it touched someone before the ball went 10 yards, but well executed there.
Fake the handoff, now wanting to throw the ball. Has it down the same, and it's intercepted by Norwin. Doesn't matter if they can't get the onside kick because Cooper Wilson says, give me that.
Now, it looks like
Carson Miller.
Yeah, good for Carson Miller right there because Carson Miller does a nice job just being in position off the RPO, or not necessarily RPO, just a little bit of a play action. He knows his man responsibility, right place, right time, makes a huge interception. And now Norwin with the capability to go ahead and put some separation, something that hasn't been done yet, put it in a 2-possession score.
Mike Brown just grabbed the shoulder pads of Gio Rotroff and said, hold on, buddy. Take a quick seat here. Let's air the ball out here a little bit. 5 receivers out there for the Knights. 4 here to the near side as Norwin starts the ball. And it's Leonard coming in motion. They're going to throw it back to him. Leonard's going to try to throw downfield for DeFazio. He's hit trying to go for the ball, and it will be a flag.
Yeah, so it looks like that's a play that they had drawn up. They're going to go with a little senior special, if you would. That was going to go with Leonard, backup quarterback coming in motion. And what ends up happening is they go ahead and throw a pass or a double pass. And Leonard puts actually a nice ball out there, and DeFazio does a better job of making sure that he's making a play for the ball. Unfortunately, in that case, not bad defense, but his head wasn't turned, and that's why the PI gets called on Lebo.
It's not a spot foul. It's just a 15-yard penalty. Doesn't matter. Norwin will now be on the plus side of the ball. That's actually the first penalty against Mount Lebanon tonight. Handoff goes to Gio Rotroff. Sidesteps a man. And he's going to follow a blocker, keep his legs moving, and that pile tries to keep him moving. They'll say forward progress lost to the 41, so a 6-yard gain for the pinball.
Yeah, and right now what you like seeing out of your running back is he has 2 hands on the ball, taking what's there and just making sure that his feet are turning and trying to make positive yards on every game.
He gets the call again across the 40. Falls forward across the 37-yard line for a first down. Another 4 yards for him as he gets 225 on the night.
Yeah, and give the offensive line a lot of credit right now. Doing a nice job of just making sure they're moving that line of scrimmage that way. First contact is happening after 2 to 3 yards of contact.
Looking to throw, no, it's going to be a draw for Tavares. Tavares crosses the 35 and then is met by a pile of defenders up to the 31-yard line for 6 yards.
And again, Tristan G giving them a lot of credit because what they're doing is they're not messing around. They're trying to go ahead and run inside the tackles and just make positive gains, especially on 1st and 2nd down.
Looking to throw. Wants it all. Goes towards Knight. Can't come up with it. As the ball was just slightly underthrown, Knight still trying to get that left paw out there and make a one-handed grab. Couldn't come up with it. It'll be a 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, going with a little bit of an inside slot fade type concept. And Knight in the one-on-one. Tristan throws a good ball, just allowing Knight to go ahead and try to make a read off it. Just Knight does a nice job trying to get his body, but unable to go ahead and solidify.
Ball smacked up into the air, and it's not caught, thank goodness, by Mount Lebanon. There was pressure coming up the middle. That was Joe Malone to swat that ball away, and there is an injured Blue Devil on the field. Cramping on that play is Sebastian Corleone.
Yeah, and that had disaster written all over it, because Raiders, you had all the momentum going with a little bit of a timing lane, and what ends up happening is you get an outside rusher able to get his hands up and deflects high off of him. And basically you saw a pick 6 going the other way. But unfortunately, Lebo unable to make the interception to go and complete that play. And if you're Norwin right now, you're fortunate in the fact that ball landed incomplete.
We'll take a quick injury timeout here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. 14-7, Norwin leads it.
State Representative Mike Reese was a great advocate for the kids in our community. He felt athletics were a vital tool in raising healthy, happy kids. The Mike Reese Memorial Fund offers grants to local youth athletic organizations so that every kid has a chance to play. Funding is available for new equipment, registration fee offset, facility improvements, and more. Visit MikeReeseMemorialFund.com to apply.
That Blue Devil player is able to get up off with his own power after the cramping. Brian, if Norwin has been good on pretty much most things tonight, I think we could say they've been pretty good on most things tonight. 3rd down have not been their best down on offense tonight. It's 4th down and 4 as Norwin will go for it. And the Knights are 3 of 12 on 3rd downs, or 1 of 2 on 4ths. Tavares, keep it himself, spins, and it's the same play they've ran a few times, and it's only going to go for 2 yards, and it'll be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, and right there, you're kind of, again, in no man's land, where the fact that you tried the field goal, and again, the field goal's probably a little bit out of reach, and just saw what happened on possibly a pass play, so maybe you're a little bit snake-bitten on the pass play. So, trying to set it up so that way you can have one of your best ball carriers a chance to go ahead and make a play. And just give Lebo credit, because they were stout in their responsibilities, didn't give them much room to go ahead and wiggle, and they get a turnover on downs.
Last time we saw the Mount Lebanon offense, it was Pat Smith throwing an interception to Carson Miller. And it's 1st down and 10. Smith will keep it himself. A flag flies at the snap. A second flag comes in. I think we're going to have offsetting penalties here, Brian. I think we're going to have a false start and also a face mask, as Max Fearley was the one to make the stop for the Knights.
Yeah, that second flag, like you just said, coming in from the sideline, looks like it might be something post-snap responsible, and so it could be a hand to the face.
Okay, so they saw. Okay, that's what I thought. We're going to have offsetting penalties. There was too many men in the backfield for Mount Lebanon. They had 5 players lined up in the backfield. And then also Max Fearley came up and grabbed the face mask just momentarily of Pat Smith. Those penalties offset will replay 1st down with 1:09 to play in the 3rd quarter. Norwin clinging on to a 7-point lead. Looking to throw with Smith. Wants to throw quickly. High for Siegel, who has the touchdown for Mount Lebanon. And will go incomplete.
Yeah, and Pauling does a nice job there, just making sure that he's playing through the hands. And if that ball was caught, he was going to go ahead, or had a chance to be caught. He's trying to play through the hands to separate it. And right there, 2nd and 10 is going to be the result, because high pass, incomplete, good defense, and now it's going to be moving on to the next play.
2nd down and 10. Fake the handoff. Smith wants to throw. Looks. Fires another high pass. As it was Siegel again. Good coverage, though, by the two defenders out there, Zach Pauling and also Carson Miller.
Yeah, and the line does a nice job getting a good rush in there because the inside receiver does a nice job evading the inside inside backer bump and gets on top of, Knight right there covering him in two. Had an actual chance at the seam lane if the quarterback had time to find him, but he didn't have time because the front four able to get good pressure, force an early pass, incomplete, 3rd and 10.
Looking to throw. Fires underneath, and a great defensive play coming up from behind is Pauling to get his hand around the receiver and knocks it incomplete. Timed that ball perfectly. If he's a second earlier, they're going to call pass interference there. We'll bring up a 4th down, and the punt team comes on.
Yeah, you said it 100% correct. Really nice job by Zach because he does a nice job being right cognizant of where the sticks are at, breaks on the ball, and good timing because as that ball is getting ready to touch the receiver's hands, he's right there to knock it down.
It's Joe Malone to punt the ball away, and Jake Knight has his heels at the 35. Gets a nice charge into this punt, and Knight will fair catch it at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, nice scoop catch by the punter right there to make sure that he's going ahead and not causing a disastrous play there on special teams. And Knight's getting ready to take over the ball around the 40.
Congratulations to our Week 8 Westmoreland Sports Network Player of the Week, and that's Greensburg-Salem's Brody Chismar. Brody threw for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns and also rushed for 96 yards in the Golden Lions win over York last Friday. Check out a special interview with Brody, which aired on Westmoreland on the Gridiron on our YouTube channel. Again, congratulations to our Week 8 Westmoreland Sports Network Player of the Week, Greensburg-Salem's Brody Chismar. Handoff is going to go to Gio Rotroff, who gets up to the 45 and will be marked down to the 46 for a 6-yard gain. And I would say he's pretty much hands down the consensus player of the game for Norwin right now. 24 carries, 231. Doesn't have a touchdown yet. And we still have another quarter to play, Brian.
Yeah, G just doing a nice job of making sure he's executing the plays that are actually being called for him and running with a good will and good intent.
This time it's going to be Tavares to pull the ball, and we'll get 3 yards on it.
Probably going to go ahead here into the 4th quarter, especially in a 3rd and 1 situation.
Yep. It looked like Tristan was going to try to maybe sneak the snap in there, but he will go to the 4th quarter. After 3 quarters of play, Norwin leads it 14-7 here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
It's prime time for prime rib at D'Annunzio's every Friday and Saturday night. Get yourself a 12-ounce queen cut for $26 or a 16-ounce king cut for $29. The prime rib is seasoned, slow roasted, served with au jus and horseradish, vegetables, and a choice of pasta or potato, and comes with super salad too. Remember, D'Annunzio's prime rib special every Friday and Saturday after 4 at all 3 of our restaurant locations.
I feel like it's definitely very important for high school because a lot of kids, get peer pressured into drinking and doing drugs. So doing the events in a school setting, I feel definitely try to prevent kids from going to parties and drinking and driving and doing drugs and being peer pressured.
We just want to, talk about the dangers of the substance abuse in our community, and we want to help be a part of stopping that.
Start of the 4th quarter will be a 3rd down and 1 for Norwin. They lead at 14-7. As the handoff is going to go to Rotroff. He needs the 50-yard line. He's going to get to the 49 for 2 yards. And Norwin finally converts a 3rd down. They have not been good on 3rd downs tonight. They're 4 of 13 now.
Yeah, and again, just relying of getting that run inside the tackles. Nothing fancy, just displacing the line of scrimmage. Letting G just do what he does. Use that power, use that speed, get inside there and get that yardage.
G gets the call again to the 45. We'll get to the 44-yard line for another 5-yard gain. And I'll tell you what, Brian, he's going to be sore tomorrow. He's going to need that ice bath for sure.
You know what? I think we've been saying that a lot about him, and he just keeps on answering the bell, and he's going to enjoy having a week off, before getting into the postseason.
Tavares will keep it himself on the design quarterback run. Gets outside momentarily. Will scamper forward for about 2 yards. That'll be a Third down and a long 2, short 3.
Yeah, and so indirectly what that does, it just gives Gia a little bit of a break, gives them something else outside the tackle to make sure the defense is respecting all gaps.
Rotroff on third down is going to go nowhere. It's the second time he's had a no-gain play, and he only has one carry that went backwards. So Norwin will punt this ball away now, as they are now 4 of 14 on third downs. Pfeiffer will come in to punt the ball away, and it looks like it's Jacob Zaber deep to receive this kick. And a nice spiraling punt. And Zaber, what a coffin corner punt by Evan Pfeiffer. He claps as he comes off, puts the ball out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, that's actually textbook right there. Two things. One, it's executing the punt. It's the second thing, give the special teams coach, Jack Frazier, a great job of getting his team on the sideline ready. They're doing like a little bit of a hurry-up punt. So what that actually means is the offense goes ahead, sprints off, and the defense or the special teams comes off in that case and is going to go ahead and sprint on to go ahead and execute that punt. So what that does is cause a little bit of confusion, doesn't allow the return people to get what they want to be. They're more in a safe mode. And Evan Pfeiffer, I tell you what, you couldn't ask for a better kick. Places looks like just a 9-iron right on, the part of the green that you wanted to, draws it right into the pin, puts it basically, what is it? They're on the 1.
They're on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, that's you can't ask for anything better.
I mean, you literally can't write that up any better.
Nah.
Under center goes the Blue Devils. Then they get Norwin to jump.
Yeah, and again, so wise call right there by Lebo, right? Anytime you're pinned up against it, you might as well go with hard counts and try to go ahead and sneak hidden yardage because, all right, offense, you jump offside, it's a half-yard penalty. Defense, you jump offsides, it's going to be 5 yards. So, again, don't have to be a math teacher like Joe Agnew. Easy math. 5's greater than a half.
I can't do math, but I do know that one.
Only on the weekdays. I just stay with it on the weekdays. Weekends, I'm off.
First down and 5 after the penalty, and there'll be 3 receivers split out to the left, 1 to the right. Looking to throw quick, and it is complete here as fighting forward and getting positive yardage is Kevin King, and he'll get up to about the 14-yard line for 9.
Yeah, and so right now you're in that interesting zone, right? You're up 7, 10 minutes to go, and so as Norwin, you want to make sure that they're earning everything, but to the same respect, you don't want to get too soft in the fact that you gave up an easy 5, then you gave up a little bit of a pitch and catch, so it's that little bit of a cat and mouse game right now, figuring out what you want to do on defense.
Pat Smith keeps it himself on first down and 10 as he get forward to about the 16 is for a gain of 2.
Yeah, hard run there by Smith, but unfortunately just nothing there for him. And again, that's because, the Fearley brothers are able to go ahead and make sure that they're stout at the point of attack. And then you have both Santino and Kugler there to be able to clean it up.
Second down and 8. Norwin leads it 14-7. Looking to throw. Pressure's on. That ball looked like it slipped out of the quarterback's hand and making a gorgeous catch. Just reaching his paws out there is Siegler. And he finds it to the 40.
Yeah, and again, not bad coverage by Markle right there. He's basically in the hip. But, again, just a high ball allowing the receiver the advantage of being able to see the ball the whole time and be able to make the appropriate adjustments. And unfortunately, Ben unable to do so in that case. And Lebo with a nice pitch and catch.
34 yards. Is that completion? I'm sorry, 44 yards. I can't do math. I told you, Brian, I can't do math. Looking to throw again, and we'll just throw it away.
Yeah, and so that time now, again, a little bit more of a coverage situation where people are a little bit more pressed and tight. Though Smith had time to throw, he didn't have area or space to throw in. And so just does the wise thing of just make sure that ball is uncatchable by anyone, throws it over the heads and out of bounds.
He's 4 of 20. For 139 at the touchdown and an interception today. 8:48 remains in this ball game. Norwin leads it 14-7. In case you're wondering the Central Catholic score, they are dominating the Big Macs. Pat Smith fakes the handoff and keeps it himself, sidesteps a man. He's going to try to break out of a tackle, but good job to wrap the ankles by DeFazio, but not after giving up 11 yards for a first down.
Yeah, and so nice job just doing a little bit of misdirection right there and getting one of your best runners, which is the quarterback, able to go ahead and get flow one way and then a good downhill run the opposite way. And right now they're threatening, and you're inside the 30, so down 7, 8 minutes to go, 8-20, some change. You're looking at possibly, this is a drive where you're looking to put a touchdown on the board.
First down and 10. Handoff. Knight says no. That was Zaber on the carry and will lose a yard.
Yeah, Jake Knight does just a nice job. They're more of a too tight or a balance set. Even though they had 4 receivers, it was a little bit more balanced and tight. So Knight able to drop down from a safety position, play more of an alley defender to the field, collapses on that outside run and just runs down through the hip, through the pads, able to go ahead and keep that at a no gain or actually a loss of 1.
Second down 11. 7:35 remains. Ball at the Norwin 30. Wanting to throw and gets it on the slant route. Again, complete to Siegel. It's going to be a gain of about 8.
Yeah, Siegel just doing a nice job being able to win some inside leverage right there. And a critical pass and catch situation there, because what he need to do is make sure that he puts his team in an opportunity not only to have a chance on 3rd down, but also on 4th down if they don't make it here.
It'll be a 3rd down and 4. They run a banana bunch right off the line. Wanting to run now, will roll out. Leonard jumps up and knocks it down. I'm sorry, that's DeFazio with a brilliant defensive play on 3rd down.
Yeah, so they went with a little bit of a nasty trips and try to go ahead and get them over into the field side. They had a vertical going there and a drag coming across, but DeFazio does a great job of just getting up, using all of his size to go ahead and deflect the ball. Great play by DeFazio right there, recognizing the situation and being able to go ahead and make sure that's not completed on 3rd down.
4th down. Blue Devils are 0 for 1 on 4th downs. It's going to be a 4th and 4. Smith is going to throw for it. And it is blown dead. Norwin takes a timeout before the snap.
Ooh, that was borderline interesting too, because I know the play was blown dead, but receiver gets inside leverage, actually makes a catch. Would have been interesting to see if we were able to stop him there.
I think everybody in the stadium held their breath there for just a collective moment. Ooh. And truthfully, I didn't know where the ball went, and then all of a sudden I saw Siegel turn around with the ball and kind of put his hands up in the air. The Mount Lebanon coaching staff was not happy with the timeout call, but I thought I heard a whistle.
Yes. Yeah, it was definitely, it was one of those calls that you heard the whistle coming in, but by the time everyone's reacted to it, it's definitely post-snap that everyone's reacted to it, but the call was actually made pre-snap.
So it'll be a 4th down and 4 with 6:40 remaining. Norwin leads it 14-7. All right, so you see the slants. They ran all slants on that play. And now they'll go spread. 2 receivers to the left of Smith, 3 to the right. No safeties for the Knights as everybody's pressing. 6:41 remains. Norwin holds on to a 7-point lead. Looking to throw is Smith. Throws it on the out pattern, and it's incomplete. Turn it over on downs.
So they actually go ahead with the leverage. It's actually the right call, because you see a lot of man press. So what they do is they know they have inside man press, so they don't force the slant. They actually try to pick on number 2 going outside, and actually creates a little bit of separation. But the man press, what that does is force you to throw a ball on time and in space, in a critical space. Not a lot of separation there, unable to make the play. Norwin gets the ball here, taking it over 6:37 to play in the game.
Norwin has 2 timeouts. Mount Lebanon has all 3. Rotroff, why not? Undercut at the 25, forward to the 26 for 3.
So right there, G stretching it out, unable to get to the sideline, gets banged up a little bit, comes off a little gingerly, and right now it looks like Leonard's going to be able to step in. More so in an empty set type situation.
Yep.
Looks like they were going to go with Parker Rigo, but they decided to go with Leonard to go a little bit more empty.
Clock ticks to 6. Tavares wants to throw. Steps. Has Brzezinski. Jump ball!
So that's just a good job by Tristan being able to go ahead and elongate the play, steps up in the pocket, and then just realizes he has a chance to run it. But what he does that time is just gives a chance for Potter to go ahead. He had separation, but like we said before, if the ball has air, the receiver has the advantage. So Potter just does a nice job being able to high point the ball, make a critical catch there.
Rotroff pinballs his way to the 21 for 4 yards. That completion was 49 yards on the connection between Tavares and Brzezinski.
And right now it's nice to see Rotroff being able to get back into the game because, you know, that's going to be the person that's got to take you home right now is be able to run this ball and be able to get in the end zone or get points on and take minimal or maximum time off the clock.
DeFazio goes in motion. Tavares wants it himself. He's going to be just shy of the 20. It'll get up to the 19.
So it's actually interesting because most of Norwin's successful yardages have been inside the tackles. But having said that, what ends up happening is the times that they look to go inside the tackles, it gets spilled out. They've been splashing it out and being able to contain it on the outside. But G's been having a lot of success on those direct lines, quick hitters inside, not so much the gap scheme that's trying to go to the outside. So interesting to see here, especially as you're trying to milk the clock.
3rd and 6. Looking to throw again is Tavares. He has time. Now he has to step out of the pocket. Gets out of it, has some open room, gets to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, but a flag comes in on the play.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a hold late.
And it is going to be a hold on the Knights. That'll be their 6th penalty, and right now could be the costly one.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't have the benefit of
replay to see.
Yeah, and nor do I want to see it because again, I just got to give Tristan a lot of credit of being able to evade pocket pressure, keep his eyes downfield, and in that time, you know, he made the decision that he actually saw a seam, was able to make a play, but unfortunately, it's going to come for naught.
Now, the fortunate thing is that clock ran there. And now there's 4:21 remaining. And that took a good about 6 to 8 seconds off the clock, Brian. And in a game where you're leading by 7, truthfully, I would have to think this is 2-down territory here. 3rd down and 17 after the penalty. Fling it out to Rotroff. Rotroff had some pressure, and he's going to lose yards on that play as there was some pressure coming in on the back end. And that pressure was being applied by Jackson Kramer.
Yeah, and they were fortunate on that case because Kramer just does a nice job of getting upfield right now, kind of sniffing out what was happening, and Tristan had to go ahead and make sure he made an aggressive ball that was on the back shoulder of G, which means that G has to turn around, has no chance of catching that in stride to be able to get any significant yardage. And so now going to be relying on the defense here if you know one.
They let the clock tick down, and I believe they're going to take a delay of game penalty again here, Brian.
Well, I think we learned from last week that, yeah, you don't need to burn a timeout to punt the ball. You know, just take it back, give Pfeiffer a situation to get a good snap, good punt, and try to close this out here with your defense.
So Norwin now 4 of 15 on 3rd downs, Brian, and that is not a good stat to look at. 27% on their conversion rate. They lead at 14-7 with 3.5 to play. Mount Lebanon has all 3 timeouts, so that's an eternity. And we'll see what Pfeiffer can do. This last time he put the ball on the 1-yard line. This time he looks like he's going to get a similar style punt, but it's going to go into the end zone, and it will be a touchback.
Yeah, good effort by Pfeiffer again. Has a little bit of pressure coming in. Yeah, lands it pretty much in the same spot, just the ball has a little bit different angle. So, again, 2 good quality punts. You know, trying to coffin corner it there. and just unable to on that second attempt.
The punt will net of 19 yards as 3:23 remains. And as I said, all 3 timeouts. Dave Franzak alongside Brian Brzeski bringing you tonight's action from the Knights Castle. The last football game that will ever be played here, at least on this turf, for the next, well, we'll say at least a year. Pat Smith will call it himself. Tries to bounce outside. Will cut back inside as DeFazio, Brasco, and Algieri combine on the stop.
Yeah, 3 timeouts, 3 minutes, eternity of time. So I like the fact that Lebo not necessarily pressing it, but to the same respect, you want to be in a little bit of a hurry-up mode because with the 3 timeouts, if things don't work in this case and you're throwing the ball, you can actually get a second possession, but they might be putting chips all in trying to get it on this possession.
Well, I'm going to say they're not going to be comfortable throwing the ball, and as I say that, they throw the ball. He has a man in stride. Can he connect? He cannot, and that is going to be Jackson Driscoll. As in coverage was Marco. He was a step behind, so everybody can take a collective sigh of relief as that ball falls incomplete. Now Pat Smith is what I was trying to say there. Pat Smith is now 5 of 23 through the air. He's got 146, but he also has a touchdown and an interception. Completions of 19, 67, 9, 44, and 7.
Yeah, that one there, just one of those plays that on all sides. Defense is a step behind, ball's a step long. Receiver's hands are a half-inch short, and so just unable to connect on all phases. Just goes down as, a no play, if you would, move on to the next down.
Empty set on 3rd down. Fearley applies pressure, makes him throw up a bad jump ball. A nice job by Pauling to jump over top and spike the ball out of the hands of Siegel, and another incompletion will bring up a 4th down and 9.
Yeah, so Fearley, like you said, puts good pressure on. That ball's fluttering a little bit, hanging up there for an eternity, and it almost looked like, again, that they were going to be able to make a play on the ball. And now here we go. Lebo, actually, I don't disagree with this call because, again, with the timeouts that you have, if you go ahead and get a stop, especially if you sell out to the run right now, you can get the ball back, possibly get a block punt situation, or, just be able to get a high school play to happen. So, not rolling the dice here on 4th and 9, trying to go ahead and get a second possession after the punt.
No one is deep for Norwin, by the way. And they just get a good charge into it, and I think that's probably a smart play so it doesn't touch anybody like it unfortunately did with Markle earlier in this game. Down at the 41-yard line, 42-yard line with 2:26 remaining. And Norwin now they have potential to ice this game.
Yeah, and so just looking over there, what you like to see is linemen coming over to the running back. And one thing that Norwin's been able to do this year is have 2 platoon basically of their offense and defensive linemen. So right now, this line's coming out a little bit fresher than what it usually is. And they're talking to G and they're just telling him, hey, man, trust us and trust having 2 hands on the ball and just don't try to get greedy. Just make positive plays, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. Get a couple first downs. You call it a game. You move on to where you want to be in the postseason.
As we scoreboard watch, Central Catholic has a 38-10 lead over over Cannon McMillan. That game is still in the 3rd quarter. 5-yard gain for Tavares on 1st down, and Mount Lebanon will burn their first timeout of the half.
Yeah, and that's a positive win on both sides of it. Honestly, it's a positive win. You hate to say it after 5 for Lebo, but that had a chance to go ahead and be a lot more, especially when you see Tristan pressing the outside and then seeing a back cut lane. And that's something that, Tristan's been trying to press the outside, but where their money's been made has been in between the tackles. So Tristan does a good job putting his foot in the ground, but Lebo there to go ahead and contain them, make sure that they're fighting and getting, if they get the first down, Lebo's going to make them get it in 3 to 4 downs, not getting it in 1 or 2.
As we talk about that Central Catholic score, let's remind you that for the latest on Westmoreland County High School football scores tonight, follow us on X at WestmorelandSN or check out our score tracker on our website, westmorelandsports.com. Both are updated frequently throughout the night, so you can get the most up-to-date scores on all of our Westmoreland County teams. A few of those teams will be going into the playoffs next week. Norwin is trying to make sure that they are going in the 3 slot, as it looks right now, Brian, that they are going to be in the playoffs regardless with that score at Central Catholic. 2nd down and 5. Tavares on the moving pocket will stiff arm a man to the 50, and he's going to try to stay in bounds. They are going to mark him down right at almost at that lead stick. And timeout again will be called by Mount Lebanon. They took a little bit of time to call that timeout, and I think it's because they weren't sure if that ball was going to be called out of bounds or not. 4 yards on the gain for Tavares, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, probably one of these plays that right now, I'm just looking at my seniors, looking them in the eye and just saying, listen, you guys have fought too hard to go ahead and get to this position and not be able to make this 1 yard. So I don't give a shit. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I got in coach mode there for a second. But I don't care if I'm looking at the other team and saying, hey, guess what? I'm running it right over you and stop me. Try to stop me. Because right now, I'm just telling you, it's going into G's hand, it's going to Tristan's hand. Or don't be surprised if all of a sudden you see number 5 in the backfield. If you see 5 in the backfield, he's getting it and he's going to tell you he's going to run him over. So that's the attitude that, you're going to probably see right here, and I'll be surprised if I see anything else. And I apologize. I got a little caught up.
It's all right, Brian. I didn't hear anything.
No, yeah.
Truthfully, though, Brian, I wouldn't – well, they're not going to do it, but I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if you see Dylan Greaves come in.
Yeah, and Dylan, a big body character that can go ahead and just push that pile when nothing's there.
Well, why not give it to your bell cow tonight, who's got 244 yards on the ground on 29 carries, and that's Gio Rotroff on 3rd down and 1. Tavares will keep it himself. He's not going to get there.
Yeah, and I tell you what, give right there. I tell you, 15 right there for Lebo. I'm not sure. That's Chris Cabanas. I tell you what, man. He's not the biggest guy on the field right now, but that was the biggest play of the game because he comes submarining right in there and met Tristan at his hips. And so what he was able to do is anytime someone gets into your hips, you're going to be stopped, and that's exactly what just happened right there. He got into Tristan's hips. Tristan wasn't able to go ahead and make any type of play off it, and now it's an interesting 4th and 2 right here with 2:06 left in the game.
4th down and 2 right at midfield. And, Brian, I have to be honest, you have to punt this ball away, right? You don't want to give – and I know your defense has been playing well, but you want to rely – I don't know, Brian. They're going to keep their offense out here on 4th down. They're 1 of 3 on 4th downs tonight, and I know you're right at midfield, but with 2:06 remaining and no timeouts, I still don't think you want to give them any kind of positive yardage here or positive field possession here, and they're going to trot the offense out there, are the Norwin Knights, and try to put this game on ice. 4th down and 2.
Yeah, so this is a play where you want to go ahead and play to win the game, not necessarily play to lose the game. And what they're going is putting their chips on the table right now, seeing if they can win the game.
Rotroff definitely gets the 1st down. Gutsy call by Mike Brown, and it pays off.
Yeah, and it's definitely a call that right there, he put his chips on the table where he basically said, hey, you're going to love me or hate me after this call, and you got to give Coach Brown a lot of credit because he said right now he's not worried about what anyone else thinks. He's going to go ahead and put him on the table. I give Coach Brown a lot of credit right there. A lot of people are thinking that's the wrong call. And
I did.
Yeah, hey, but listen, when you look in that huddle and you see the eyes of your teammates, that's the difference between, making a thought made off of analytics and a thought made off of emotion. When you look into that huddle, you see your seniors looking you back in the eyes and say, let's go for it, you go for it.
5 seconds on the play clock. Down to 2 and 1, and now they do snap it. And sliding is Tavares, and he'll lose 2 yards on the slide.
Yeah, and that's a good job of just Tristan knowing the situation right there.
So they're announcing here at Norwin Knight Stadium that Gio Rotroff has just broken the single game rushing record for Norwin. He's got 247. Again, that's unofficial right now. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a touchdown, and you'd love to see him have one here with the way tonight's gone, but we still have 54 seconds remaining here as the play clock ticks down to 2. Tavares, again, will just slide at the 50-yard line, and we'll lose another yard, but we'll gain another. Now let's see what they do here, Brian. That could be it. That is the ball game right there. Nope, I'm sorry, Brian. They now changed the play clock to 25 seconds. It was at 40 seconds. They set it. There's 30 seconds, and they're going to wait to run that play clock as Norwin will go into the victory formation.
All right.
Knee down again, and Norwin is going to the postseason. They've locked themselves into the number 3 seed and will take on the North Allegheny Tigers.
So right there, you just got to say a lot of things that just wouldn't happen there. But to the same respect, I know a record was broken, and G's going to tell you straightforward that he loves the record, but more importantly, he loves the fact that his team's going to go ahead and get a chance to go ahead and make their mark by going into the postseason. And right now, they earned a week off to go ahead and try to heal from this and get ready for first round of playoffs that looks like it's going to be against North Allegheny.
Well, Paul Schofield just tapped me on the shoulder and let me know that this is the first time Norwin has ever beaten Mount Lebanon.
Oh.
I did not know that. I could not find that record anywhere. And that is the first time Norwin beats Mount Lebanon, and it couldn't be at a more timely place.
Yeah,
It now, as we just said, puts them in the number 3 seed.
Yeah, and that's a position that we've been talking about playoffs, and honestly, Norwin's been in playoff mode for the last 2 weeks. So, that's what's kind of nice about it is, the game of football is a sport where it's so fragile. And so right now they're just cherishing every moment that they have. Every Friday they get a chance to play, and now you just found out that you get a chance not only to elongate you into the postseason, but you get a chance to go in as the 3 seed instead of the 4 seed. And that's a big accomplishment here for the Norwin Knights. And give a lot of credit to the coaching staff and all the seniors and just the players in general for going ahead and battling their ways through a lot of adversity this year, and hopefully a lot of bright spots still to come.
And a final comes in also from Central Catholic. That final score 45-10. So Norwin is now we can officially say it now, Brian. We screwed it up last week. I'll wear that one. But Norwin is now the number 3 seed in the 6A playoffs as they'll travel to Wexford next week to take on North Allegheny. We do not know what time that game is. If I had to guess, North Allegheny loves 7:30 kickoff. So if I had to guess, it's going to be a 7:30 kickoff out in Wexford. And truthfully, one of my least favorite places to go is North Allegheny High School. They have the media timeouts, and it is just a hike to get up there. But Norwin played them tough, should have beat them earlier this season. And think about that, Brian. If they beat them earlier this season, we're playing here next week.
Yeah, and, that everything, you can always go back throughout the year and pinpoint, plays that could have happened, should have happened, would have happened, what if. But right now, you're going to go ahead and take a little bit of time to reflect on this season. But more importantly, you're going to start preparing for the postseason, because I still have faith in the fact that I don't think we've hit on all cylinders for a game. And if a team does that, that's whenever you have a chance for a special team to have special moments and have a special victory. And there's potential there. And everyone has to understand that, hey, we're happy with what we've done, but you can't be satisfied. You got to be hungry to go ahead and get better and enjoy a little bit of time off, but also be focused at the task at hand. The job's not done. You want to go ahead and leave your mark as possibly being one of the better teams that's ever donned a Norwin uniform, and you have a chance to do that, because you go ahead and string a victory or two together, you'll be known as the best. And so true competitors live for that moment and embrace this one like it, but still know that there's a lot of learning to go forward, and there's a chance for your legacy to be written, and that's going to be fun to watch here in the next week or two.
So a couple historic things happened here on the last time we shouldn't say in this stadium, because I guess the stadium is staying as it is. It's just going to go under renovations. A new field's going to be put in. As far as I'm aware of, there's going to be new stands put in right below us here, below the press box. I believe the press box is going to get renovated as well.
I think they're giving us a suite. Rumor is we get like a nice little bar stool area that has.
We got to keep you away from the bar, though. We've already got you on one flag tonight. But a couple historic things have gone on tonight. One, Norwin goes into the playoffs. I guess it's not necessarily history, but it's the first time since 2017 that Norwin has gone to the playoffs. Gio Rotroff goes on and breaks the single-game rushing record with 247 yards on the ground. And then Norwin also beats Mount Lebanon for the first time in their history. So a lot going on here tonight. Norwin, though, will have at least one more game to play, and that'll be against the North Allegheny Tigers next week. We do not know what time that game is going to be on. And by the way, Brian, forgive me for missing this earlier in the game. With it being senior night, and I'm sorry the name slips my mind, but they've had the number 17 on their sidelines all night. As Norwin unfortunately had a player that would have been a senior this year pass away, as they actually will now pay tribute, it looks like, to that number 17, as they'll take it into their huddle with them. And I believe they're going to take a picture with that number 17, as it's a tragic, and anytime anybody loses their life, it's tragic, but especially when you're only at that time 15 years old, to tragically lose your life. And would have been a senior this year. They're going to take a team photo with that 17, and a nice win for the Knights here, for not only the seniors, but for the juniors as well, as they won't play on this turf. And we'll figure out what the plans are for next week to play, to where they're going to play. But next week, we know for sure it'll be at North Allegheny. We don't know what time. It will be. It'll be an interesting one, Brian, to say the least. And I'm sorry, that's in 2 weeks, correct? That's in 2 weeks, not next week. So they will have a week off to rest up, to prepare, to go trick-or-treating, which is nice because I would like to go trick-or-treating with my nieces. And just avoid the Brzezinski household. You never know what's going to happen there. Brian, any closing thoughts for you here out of this regular season finale?
No, you know what, just like you said, really nice moment down there because, high school sports and athletics in general bring out a community, and it's nice to see them remembering a friend, a player, former teammate, and just having a moment down there remembering Barjo at this time. And so, kudos for the staff and for everyone for acknowledging that. Good way for the seniors to go out, and, Lebo, good effort. Unfortunately, this is the bad thing about sports is it comes to an end sometimes later or sooner for others. But right now, if you're a Norwin Knight fan, you're happy because you get a chance to live and play for another game. And so excited to see what happens against North Allegheny.
By the way, I should mention, too, I forgot to mention this, unofficially, Tavares has gone over 1,000 yards passing on the season tonight. He had 122 yards on the night. He needed 110, so he has over 1,000 yards passing on the night. But for our cameraman, producer, director, everything tonight, Matt Palumbo, for my partner, Brian Brzezinski, for our executive producer, Dan Flickinger, Shirley Flickinger, and Nicolette Peterson, keeping us on the air, keeping us with scores throughout the night. Even though I had to make an argument for that Central Catholic score, they did keep giving us the Central Catholic score. We love you, Shirley, and Nicolette back in the studio. Thank you for everything. I'm Dave Franzek saying good night from the Knights Castle. Again, final score 14-7. Norwin squeaks out the win, and they'll head to the postseason here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.